This episode of the Pro Crastinators podcast was brought to you by our bonus episode. Go to patreon.com/theprocrastinators and pledge $5 or more to get access to all our bonus monthly episodes. Last month's episode was...
Welcome! Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Coof Cast.
Having gone through
Procrastinate, you say? Ring the gong. Whenever anyone procrastinates, I'm gonna hit the gong.
It's like the final form of Ben Saint. The cop killer.
You're right. Cool. This is Ben with, using 100% of his power.
when Ben has all the slime.
that face when you got ooze. Yeah, I got ooze.
That's patreon.com/theprocrastinators. Giving you a boner every single time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Procrastinators podcast. I'm BG, and we got BS over there. The shitter himself. We've got T.O. What's up, T?
Yo.
Yeah, his catchphrase. Yo. We got GT.
Lord of Ghosts Chapter 5 will be out by the time you're listening to this.
Always pushing that LOG and DB.
Yo, I'm sorry. I've not been on the show for a long time. I spent a long 6 weeks trying to figure out exactly how gay I actually am. Results.
Any closer?
Very gay, it turns out. Extremely, excessively gayer than I ever thought possible. So now I have to live that life for the rest of my life.
I want to say first thing, today, when this is coming out, this will be the last day that the Rowdy Fuckers Cop Killers Pin Kickstarter is on, and we will be streaming the end of the Kickstarter on twitch.tv/Rowdy Fuckers Cop Killers tonight. This is the big finale.
I'll give you guys motivation.
We've outdone all of our expectations, as always.
That's great. That's great. You guys should do that, and here's some incentive. I forgot to do it until now. I'm going to do it today, the day this is recorded. You should go do it. Yep, I know. I'm going to make a note to myself. Go get
sloppy.
Pins. I want those. Yep, it's very sloppy. Oh, is there any updates on the pixel v non-pixel Redman face?
The pixelated version overwhelmingly won. Almost 2-1.
But was there any issues with like the guys? Can they do that kind of
I suspect they can do it. I suspect it is doable.
Well, cool.
But we'll see.
Well, there you go, folks. Hey, other news in the news. It's May, which means some people are doing Mia Maffova type things. Not me, though. No, sir.
It's May, so there's new butterflies on Yakitori Island.
Oh, thank goodness.
There's the big one.
Is that true?
There's a scorpion. I got stung by a scorpion the other day.
Oh, goodness. Does that have the same effect as a tarantula? You just
it is
pass
the same.
out
It's just you pass out and die.
Epic. Good. Glad to hear. Wait a minute. You already did the thing. I'm sorry, but pause. Everybody pause for 1 second and listen to this right now.
It's time for Ben to talk about Animal Crossing.
I couldn't. Okay, was that an Animal Crossing Rose thing?
It was.
I couldn't hear the word. That's the same guy. Is that the same?
Eleazar. That's our editor, Eleazar.
Wait, that's
there
Eleazar?
He is. Yeah, that's him.
Okay, then was Eleazar the one who did the "It's Time to Shit on the Pizza Party" podcast song?
I think it may have been. Yeah,
it must be because
editor.
that's clearly the same guy. I didn't even realize that was
a
Eleazar.
reference.
Eleazar.
Also, wait, there's another one. Listen
God.
to
Fuck
this.
you. Okay.
Ben Saint's Animal Crossing, time to talk about all the times he's had breeding flowers, daisies, tulips, roses too. Ben Saint's Animal Crossing Island is full of all those black and purple flowers. Ben Saint's Animal Crossing time.
Yeah.
Yay!
Well, guys, my
asked for a jingle.
rose garden has expanded. It's covering like almost a third of the frickin' island at this point.
Incredible.
It's real good. I got lots of blacks. Purples are getting up there. I don't know. I got a lot of pinks by accident. I'll just probably throw them in the garbage or something.
Yeah, fuck those.
Yeah. you know.
I'm going for pinks, actually. I'm trying to.
Well, hey, you know, I think today I'm gonna fucking do the thing. I'm gonna do the fucking
online
thing where I spend the money to get online. So if you want to come visit my island and you wanna just dig up some pinks, that's fine.
Great
or I can
idea.
just bring them to your island. I don't know, whatever.
I want pink windflowers specifically.
Well, I don't have any windflowers.
Oh well, fuck the. What are they? Wildflowers?
All
The
I've
like
got-
ones that look like
all
daisies?
I've got is roses.
Bullshit. Oh, I'll take roses. Roses are good too.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Sick. Well, there it is, everybody. We've got a jingle.
Did I already mention that was it on the bonus episode that I talked about winning the stock market?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was. Yeah.
Well, I'll briefly mention then. I made a shit ton of money on turnip speculation, and now I have a mansion, a fully upgraded house. Looks great. But there's
mine today.
But there's this village, Fauna, the deer. She lives on my frickin' peninsula, and she's cramping my style. It's my peninsula. She wasn't doing anything with it. I know she was here first, but I moved here now, and I've got big ambitions for it. So she's got to go. She's got to go to the animal ghetto where she belongs, down in like crammed in the bottom left with Kurlos and Gala.
It's time for a new
left.
Trail of Tears.
Yeah, she's got she'll be happier there among her own kind, I think, and you know,
No
she's
doubt.
standing in the way of progress.
There could be none of that on Yakitori Island. Mm-hmm. Future utopian is real in Ben Saint's world.
We have to,
hey.
where her house is standing would make a really nice parking lot.
Oh, you know, that's true. Hey, we got a voicemail that I did not play, which was someone said they had a genius idea of how to make so much money. And this was their genius idea. You go to your store, I think, where you can buy the fruit that they sell on your island. This is what he said, for 400 bells. Then I assume you fill your inventory, and then you go to another player's island, and you sell your fruit on theirs, for each fruit making a 100 berry, or belly berry, whatever it is, profit. That seems like a very low profit each time you're going to be doing that.
You would make 1,000 bells per stack.
With times 40, I guess, which is 40,000.
So you would make 40,000 bells. Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. That's
not too bad. Now you could definitely do that. If you went to someone else's island where your fruit was foreign to them.
I'm glad we crunched the numbers. I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, I just wanted to say, since it's May, I made the definitive version of the Mia Maffova jingle, Mia Maffova 2 theme, that is. I am very proud of it. Lots of memes in there. If you watch my streams, I'm sure you'll appreciate it very much. So go check that out. But beyond that, congratulations, and I'm excited to see what the other people who are doing Mia Maffova's doing, of which I know 2. That is Nexus and May, aka Pantsu Party. Yeah. So good work on those.
Subscribe
I bet there's
to
more people
Pantsu
too.
Party and Corrupting Your Kids, because it's across both channels that she's doing.
Right.
What is she doing?
Every day in
Making
May.
videos.
May is what it's called.
Yeah.
A video every day? Is that it?
Yeah,
Indeed.
video or live stream.
Okay. What's Nexus doing?
He's drawing.
Yeah,
a
he's
picture,
draw
I
a thing a day, I think.
Good.
As you should.
Jade M.O.W.O.
Actually, I think Nexus is in particular is like some weird experiment where he has like a character and you have to fill her room with stuff. Like people have to comment stuff that he will draw around her or something like that.
What's the girl? It's like generic girl.
It's
or like
Filler girl.
Filler girl.
He used her for like Inktober once.
Yeah, that's right. He always got funny ideas.
Well, I hope it doesn't take too much time away from Nexus finishing the Vaporette. Jade M.O.W.O. says she's almost done with hers, and I haven't heard from Kazi and Munchie in a while, so I can only assume they've been working hard on theirs.
I've heard tales of Kezi doing some work on it.
Yeah,
by her own admissions, she says I'm working on it, so I think she may be working on it. I don't know.
I also heard tales, but Jade said like yesterday she said hers was like basically done, which
That's good.
yes, finally.
Hey, that reminds me of something else I wanted to bring up regarding that. Because last year when I was doing Mia Maffa, I had the film festival, the film contest or whatever, and a bunch of really talented people entered, and some not talented people, don't get me wrong. But some of the impressive guys, I've been keeping tabs on a little bit to see what they're doing. Most notable was the winner, Funebure, who is an insanely talented guy. And there was this other guy, 404 Tails, and I just happened the other day to stumble across a video, like, by that guy, 404 Tails, that was like, Oh, it was like the greatest cringe of all, Horny on Main, something like that. And I thought to myself,
absolutely not.
Oh yeah, of course Digi would say that. It occurred to me that like this seems like the kind of name a video would have that gets really, really popular. And I'm like, oh, that must be why it's recommended to me. But I click on it, it's got like, a couple hundred views or something. It'll be in the show notes, I'm sure. And I watch it, and I had some thoughts about that and Funebure too. Because both these guys are insanely talented and put ridiculous amounts of effort into their videos. And they're both in like this weird, I don't know, that starting enigma place of like starting your YouTube channel, or it just like you've been doing it for a while, but it hasn't really grown yet and hasn't caught on. And I was trying to think of why that is, considering how much production value there is in this. And
I'll
I
tell
think
you,
I
Nate.
had... Yeah, go for it.
I've been, because this is something I've been thinking about lately, as per my whole fucking neurotyping chart thing, which has helped me to understand my own content in a way, because like I've always insisted that I'm somebody who's like doing non-objective, opinionated, like it's just me, it's gonzo, like, and anybody who follows everything I do would obviously know that, but like there's always been this weird disconnect where people watching just my anime videos expect me to be like a critic. They're like, you missed this detail, you got something wrong. Like, how could you criticize a show if you're not going to be exacting about it? And it's like, well, that was never my point. That's why I'm a gonzo journalist. But like, I realized that the problem is I had not figured out how to translate the script in a way that focuses on the emotions instead of the logic. Like if the point the point is not to be perfectly logistical, but to like tap into an emotion, then it's like anything you put into the video that doesn't contribute to the emotion is essentially pointless. Unless
that is exactly kind of what I was thinking. But yeah, go on.
Right. It's like you can add all these things because you think like people want a video to be flashy. They want it to look clean. They want it to look good. No, they want to connect with the video emotionally. They
just are there to feel something. They're there to take the ride that you're providing for them, and you're just hitting them with facts. How's that ride? Is that ride so great? Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about. Yeah.
And like I think that that clean presentation can work for if you're a channel like Polymatter, where it's like literally facts being dumped into your head, and it's like just very clean animations and information, and all of it contributes to the point. And that's important too. Like if you're trying to make a point with your video, all the images should help make the point. It shouldn't just be that it looks nice. It's that it looks nice and it's helping to make the point. If you just have like a bunch of pointless animations, then it's just like, why are you spending all this time keyframing something that nobody cares about? Like just to make your video have the impression of being fancy, who cares? That's pretentious. That is the definition of what is pretentious.
I suppose so. But I mean, for both of these guys, I mean, when I was kind of reviewing this, and I didn't watch all of it all the way through.
I'm not speaking about these guys in particular, by the way. I've never seen.
Right, of course. These are just the ones I happen to think of, and I thought that with both of these guys, who obviously I respect a lot, and I think they're great at what they do, but it's a key issue of there's a missing narrative through line through some of these. Like they're just describing thing, and I get some people can succeed with that, but when I watch these, I get to the end and I'm like, I've gone on a ride, but where did I get at the end of it? What have I achieved?
Would you say it's like akin to an editor putting like random images that match the words phonetically, but not they don't serve the point?
Right. In a sense, yes, but there's even a bigger problem because I really don't feel like I've again, I like both these guys, but I'm just trying to be constructive in my criticism here. It's that like I don't feel like there was a real point. Right. I feel like that like in the writing stage, they put down some thoughts on a thing that just kind of go, I don't know, not particularly anywhere. There's no, you could express the exact same feelings, but like I feel like a well-written script would leave you with like a punch. It's like like an aha moment at the end. But I don't feel that.
There's lots of people who make content like that. They just like cringe, horny on main. Like they just look at a bunch of things that are cringy, and they as a YouTube personality react in a funny way to it, and them reacting in the funny way is the point. So, like, are they not doing that? Are they, like, just displaying it?
I think the key issue here is that may be true, but so far it isn't working for these guys.
I mean, I would say that I had a conversation like this earlier that was about, like, just explaining that I think a lot of people, they they don't really understand how to put the thing into words, but they still are trying to make an analysis video. And it's like, if you don't understand how to put it into words, put it into something else. Put it into the editing, the music, the sound, like whatever, but convey the idea. Like, don't just like give me fancy editing and you telling me how you can't figure out like how to explain this thing, like, or explaining it in a roundabout way, where I don't really feel like I get the point. Like, make the point however you can, but there needs to be a point. You need to understand the point, and if you can't put the point into words, put it into something else. Yeah,
I basically agree. I don't know. I like both these videos, just as an example, to be mildly critical, contained a lot of some thoughts swirling around the issue of like horny on main and like simping in that like Budokan show that obviously I had strong feelings about. But I don't know, something was missing, and I'm trying to help these guys and anybody who finds himself in a similar position, because upon watching both, I'm like, I enjoyed this ride for the surface value, but like, it doesn't give me a connection, or like, I want to hear what this guy has to say about next thing and a reason to come back. I don't know.
All right, I'm listening. Oh, I'm not listening, but I'm watching Muted, the 404 Tales video, and he's got like the 404 logo, like DVD, static
bouncing
menu,
around,
jumping in the back. But he cuts, and he doesn't let it go all the way. He doesn't stay there. He cuts and it changes position.
Cuts around.
That's the worst thing about this guy.
I don't know why he chose that.
This guy sucks.
That was a little unsatisfying, it's true. I wish he had moved his avatar, but left that thing bouncing around. And you know what? Just because I watched this one, watching this video, I thought that like what this video would contain, and I was disappointed when it didn't, was lots of examples of people being horny on main that he would present in an amusing way. But it's mostly just his thoughts about it. And that was somewhat unsatisfying, considering that it was just his avatar moving around as he continues to describe various thoughts about it. Again, not bad.
This
I have not been
video
hooked.
is way too high effort to have like 299 views.
I know, and it makes me feel for the guy, which is why I want to help, because I respect both these guys greatly. I don't know. So hopefully this has been some sort of useful critique. As I'm working on my remake thoughts and stuff, I've just been reassessing like everything. I don't know, I'm kind of getting back to like what I originally did on YouTube now with this kind of shit, and it's like I'm trying to think like, what was the point of all this? What am I trying to achieve? What makes a video good?
Why bother? Why bother criticizing a video when quality literally doesn't matter? And only exposure matters.
The question is it that these guys are not getting the views because they're not connecting with the audience, or is it because they're not, they're just not getting seen? Like I do think that, it's not, quality doesn't matter, but connecting does. Like, it's just that a lot of videos connect incidentally or through almost no fault or consideration of the actual, creator of the video. But, you know, as long as there's something people want to see, that's why they come to it. And like just looking at the SIMP M.O.W.O video, like the thumbnail and title are terrible. Like, they don't convey anything to me at all. It just says SIMP M.O.W.O. I don't know what that means. The thumbnail says SIMP, and then there's like, I don't understand what most of the thumbnail is.
Video.
There's like vaguely an anime somewhere deep buried in this thumbnail. But like, what the hell is all this black shit around it? What is this whole silhouette thing?
That's his style. That's personality.
Why would I click on that? It literally does not tell me anything. It just says simp, and then it's confusing as shit.
Okay. First of all, everyone knows what a simp is, and when you see this ominous shit and a little bit of anime thing, I think this is a more provocative title than you're giving it credit for.
No, I would by no means click on this video if I saw this in my sidebar.
It's sort of in the right direction, but it looks. It could be anything.
The name of this show.
I mean, what is this video supposed to be about? Just simp in general? Like, is there a question that it seeks to answer?
It should be pose? Okay. I watched like 30 seconds of it, and I guess it's him talking about simping. It should be called it should be called something that is like. Lets you know that it's going to be a guy talking about simping.
The video should just be called Simping the Anime. And then have a big picture of the main girl like doing a simping move, and just that is the thumbnail. It should just be a picture that indicates simping, Like,
Okay,
like
that's
this
fair.
is just a picture of the show. It does not show simping in the thumbnail. Like the show definitely has many, 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 many powerful visuals to convey simping as a concept in it.
What
true.
show are you talking about?
The show
This
that
is,
he's talking
the-
about in the video, Oshiga Budokan Itekura Ketara Shinu.
Which is definitely about simping.
It's a show about
Oh.
simping. And that's why me and Nate covered it in extensive depth earlier.
I
this
know it's a
season.
little cringe, but I
it
don't think it
blue-pilled
would
me
be a
on
bad idea to
capitalism in a
have
big
like
way.
he's got a very expressive like and stylish avatar. He should feature his fucking avatar like, you know, making the DreamWorks face and like crossing his arms or something. You know.
Oh God,
That does work on YouTube.
I mean, why have an avatar like that? Like,
you
it's
know
a
what?
nice
Okay, no, this is
avatar.
the
I
thing.
like it. It looks good.
I get it.
I think if I
all your
saw it
points
in
are
the
good.
thumbnail, I would be drawn to maybe click on it.
I think me and Fune and probably 404 Tails as well. We have this thing where like he clearly, if you just watch the video and look at the thumbnail, he has a vision for like the style of what he wants to create. But this is YouTube. Our vision is worthless. It matters not at all. What matters is getting people to click on the video.
Well, I mean,
and then
I
to
just
keep
think.
them coming
I
back.
mean, I just don't think this is a good title or thumbnail. Period. Like it conveys
yeah.
nothing emotionally. Like
I agree.
A title and
Okay,
thumbnail
okay.
only. I mean, aside from on YouTube, the meta is that it has to be an ad for your video. But aside from being an ad, if you're treating it like a title or like then it needs to be an artistic encapsulation of the point of the thing. Like a title of a book, like To Kill a Mockingbird. You know, like that is a fucking title. You want
Yep,
your title
sure,
to
sure.
sound like that. You know. So that's
good
why I
point,
said like
good
simping
point.
the anime, and then like a picture of simping, you know, and then I get it immediately. I would definitely
Maybe put your
click on
avatar
it.
cringing. I don't know, something. Yeah. All right.
That's my advice.
Well, I hope that's been constructive feedback, Fune, out of love for you and your craft and you 404. That was what it was intended to be. It pisses me off when people put so much effort in, but they're not rewarded fairly. I mean,
just gotta learn.
life isn't fair, right?
It's all about
But-
putting your effort in the right place. You have to work smarter
true,
than hard.
true.
Working hard won't
if
get
you-
you nearly as far as working smart will.
If you
Yep.
if you want to do
The 404
uh,
Tails one is better. At least there's like it tells me a little more about what's gonna.
The title is good. I like the
The
title.
thing-
It
the
was
title is
provocative.
fun.
I actually like the thumbnail of that one. I mean, it's
Yeah.
evocative. I would say this one's fine. I'm surprised it doesn't have a shit ton of views. Like you said, it seems like
it
something that
seems
would.
like a video that would get lots of views, but I mean, it happens to be a small guy who I'd heard of, so got recommended to me. But it did get recommended to me. That's a sign of success. That's
Whoa, he's got
that's
a-
good news.
He's got an interesting avatar. I like this. I like this idea. This is very It reminds me of like Kemono Friends, like the studio that does that, like their style.
Oh yeah.
It's cool.
Well, okay, there you go. Hopefully that's been useful, ladies and gentlemen. Please continue. Good luck, everyone, on your quest to succeed and not die.
I really like titles that are excessively informational. I mean,
Yeah.
that Final Fantasy video, like I had Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, and I have thoughts pertaining to it. That's the
yeah.
entire title. It's a really stupid, bad title, but I really like it. I would click on
works.
things that are like that because it's unusual. And also, like it tells me what it is. It's like all those memes where it's like Shrek, but every time Shrek appears, the movie doubles in speed or whatever. Like the title is the entire meme, but then you click on it and it's actually true, and that's the joke.
Even though it would be my
videos are great.
inclination. Some guys like Matthew Matosis get away with it because they're over the hill of this sort of thing. Although they probably could do better, but I have to resist the urge to when I put out my video calling it Final Fantasy VII Remake Review. That's the worst possible title.
Matthew Matosis titles, he is successfal despite those. I think.
I don't see
yeah, I
why
agree.
that's a bad title. I think the only thing that would be
think so?
better is if you also gave it like another, like a secondary title that is like your particular brand of like, this is my review series.
Sure.
Like if it
Colon
was
Final Fantasy VII review.
like as much as I dislike, I hate everything's content. It is a very good gimmick to say I hate.
It's a good
this.
gimmick.
Yeah.
It's a strong word. Gets people interested. No doubt. Even though sometimes I think he hates those things a little bit less than the title might imply.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
That fraud.
No. Impossible.
Well, that's all I had to say about that. I did go mushroom hunting yesterday, which was kind of fun.
Yeah?
Please play Cowboy Bebop mushroom hunting in your mind as you listen to this, ladies and gentlemen.
Why did you go
Spanish,
mushroom
the
hunting?
conga
Mexico,
drum.
Sicily, Tijuana,
Tijuana.
India, Osaka, Indonesia.
Indonesia.
But
Yes.
why did you go mushroom hunting, Nate? I want to know.
Well, Michelle has been enraptured by mushrooming culture. And she's yeah, this is the
Okay.
thing. Who are a notably
I like a good mushroom from time to time.
of course. They're a secretive, like, cult of protecting their secrets. Because there's a mushroom called a morel. I'll get you the image.
There's a what's that fucking show on YouTube?
Best of the worst.
Yeah. There's a best of the worst where one of the videos they watch is it's like a guy
Morel madness.
Morel Matt, just a
Really?
guy
I saw
just like
something
gushing
like that,
about
yeah.
morel mushrooms and how to
Loves
hunt
We've got to
them.
check that out. Well, we've gone out twice now hunting morels, which are supposed to grow in Ohio, in southern Ohio, which is where I
those
live.
look badass.
I know they are. They trigger that
Right.
trypophobia.
Whoa.
You know what I'm talking about?
Like
Kind
fear
of.
of holes.
They look like sponges.
It's the holes. They frighten me. Okay, but they're supposed to be delicious, and they're supposed to grow. Michelle just goes down these rabbit holes sometimes, and she's just gotten into mushrooming, and morels are like a prized find in this area. And she's been watching, she's been getting very depressed, watching people who are finding like hundreds of morels. We've been out twice, has not found any, and it's making her very sad.
Well, you
and
must
feeling
just
like
not
a
be looking
failure.
in the right spots. They must
Are
be somewhere else.
Are they
Yeah,
where
this is
you
what I've been
are?
saying.
Like,
Southern Ohio, which is where we are, in forests. And, we've been looking around a little bit.
Just camp
so
in the
we were
forest.
just out there.
Sit
That's what we're
down
doing.
and wait for them to grow.
What
I
would
mean,
you
we'll walk
What
along
would you
paths.
do with a morel if you found one?
We cook them. You cook them is what you do with them.
You
They're supposed to
dab
be
on them.
delicious.
Slice them up and fry them, or
I asked the same question. She said, fricassee them in butter, make a little cream sauce, serve
so
them
yeah,
on
slice them up and fry them.
slice them.
Okay.
Well, yeah,
You just
whatever.
fucking bite them out of the ground and eat them.
And put them on a what are they called? Like a toasted slice of bread or something, and you eat it with like a sauce on it or something. They're supposed to be delicious.
I can't stop staring at them, and mushroom hunting is overpowering all of my thoughts now. That bass line is
same
rumbling
here.
through my body.
It's on my mind every moment we're out there.
I would eat that. I would eat one of those.
They terrify me, but she ordered some from Amazon anyway, just to try them while we continue the hunt.
I
But,
have gotten my fucking oligosaccharides,
Citrus?
my friggin'
yeah.
tapioca soluble fiber. I have been like blending shit together to try and make a gummy. I finally got a gummy consistency that was hard
good.
enough, but it was not sticky enough. It like fell apart a little too easily with the teeth when you bit into it. I think there was too much coconut oil. So back to the drawing board. But yesterday I got my fruit flavors. I got peach, mango,
Finally.
pear. The works. It's gonna
yum.
be great. But I don't. But the thing that I'm waiting for the most is my citric acid. The thing that'll
Right,
make them
of
like really
course.
tart and sour, and you roll them in it like a sour gummy. Oh my god! I feel like I'm making progress. I'm making progress on the candy front. It's very exciting.
I'm looking forward to it.
I
I want to try some.
I can't wait to get molds. When I have the worm molds, that's when it's gonna really be real.
Yeah, I'll send you some extract of morel when we find some. We'll
Yes,
make
I'll make some
gummies.
morel gummies.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
It sounds good. And by the way, last thing on the subject is just that, one of the reasons it's been challenging is because the morel community specifically is extremely protective of the locations of these morels. The first time we went out, we were just out there. There were a bunch of people, and one of these guys was just like, "Hey, how's it going?" They're like, "Oh, doing a little mushroom hunting." They're like, "Morels?" And we're like, "You know it, dog. You know it." And they
Wait.
said, "We have scoured this forest."
You met other mushroom hunters?
We met specifically morel hunters, and get this, not only that, they had a bucket of some substance, and we were like, hey, what are you guys up to? They're like, so there's no morels in this forest in Cincinnati. We have a bucket here of spores we are planting around this forest to
Gross.
grow specifically morels for next year's season. Yeah, this is the degree
That's
to which
fucked up.
morels are beloved in
did
these
you-
areas.
How did you meet other mushroom hunters?
We were simply in the woods walking around, and it happened to come up in conversation. And
Did you pick? Were these woods like specifically recommended as a mushroom hunting location?
I think, yeah. I mean, Michelle
Otherwise, it just seems
looked
like
up
an
places to look at.
incredible coincidence.
Maybe it's like a thing, like with quarantine, the only people like daring enough to go outside is the mushroom hunters because they love them so much.
And by the way,
Those
all
are the
while
only
I'm doing
people
this,
you could find.
I can't help but think of, remember Elizabeth, that real thick mushroom from Dark Souls 1 DLC who keep miring her curves?
Right.
Yes, all these images flood to mind. Also the badass mushrooms from Dark Souls 1 who just beat your ass and are like the strongest enemies in the game. All good stuff. All good stuff. Anyway, so mushrooms.
I wish you
been doing
luck.
that. Me and Mushell have been out there.
That's the reason for the name. Okay, I get it.
Very funny.
Indeed, on Twitter, she's Mushell.
I always wondered why she was called that. It didn't make any sense before.
Mushell toe bean. It's very unfortunate. Well, that's it. Been hunting mushrooms, so that's what's going on in my life. Out there doing it. It's a great time. It's a great time. What's going on with you guys?
Shit, other than Animal Crossing and mixing gelatin into goop.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Okay, here,
That's
I'll
my
just get
week.
my other thing out of the way, and everyone else can say their piece. The other thing I've been doing is watching The Tudors, which is a Showtime historical show about Henry VIII and all his wives, and it's pretty based. It's pretty excellent. The main thing it's doing is making me think that history is, in fact, awesome, even though there's some inaccuracies on the show, which is fine. But I want to call out Munchie right now.
I wasn't sold until I heard inaccuracies, and now I'm down.
Now, yeah, it
Sounded boring until you said that they were inaccuracies.
No, it's
Some
the
historical
story of Henry VIII
inaccuracies.
is
That's all I'm
like
looking
truth is
for.
stranger than fiction shit. It's awesome. I love political machinations. Though I didn't even know what the Holy Roman Empire was until I watched the show.
When's Munchie's frickin' lecture coming out?
That's what I'm here to roast him about. Where the fuck is the French Revolution lecture? I want to hang it with my nibba, the Marquis de Lafayette, our guy. He's the coolest guy, and I miss him every day. Fuck you, Munchie. Harass that man.
The
that
spirit
guy.
science lecture was like extensively edited and came out like months later. So I wouldn't be surprised.
This doesn't
if
even need any editing. Like, he put visuals. We don't need to see what the fucking marquee looks like. I won't go into spoilers.
That's not the kind of editing the spirit science lecture had. It didn't like show anything from spirit science. It was just madness. It was just like crazy, delirious fucking, aesthetic editing.
Sure.
So.
Well, I would argue this doesn't need any of that, and I just want
But
it
this
out.
is good, though.
'Cause it's so
Munchie,
good.
don't work on the lecture. Make the vaporette. Thank you. And good night.
Do both, please.
No.
I mean, it was like my favorite lecture, and I want to watch it again. So I'm
really good.
I'm missing it. All right, there you go. He's been canceled until that comes out.
Apparently, I guess I'm off scot-free until Munchies comes out. Then is that the way this works?
Oh yeah, I forgot about yours too.
Oh, wait. Didn't you say yours was going to be done soon?
You were working on it too.
You
but then it
said
stopped.
it was like almost ready.
Look, things changed. I never said it was almost
Sure.
ready. I never said anything like that. I just said I was working on it.
Okay. But you were working on it.
Initially my plan was to not edit it like at all and to just have like both cameras in full streams the whole time. But then I found a way to edit it that made it much more entertaining. And so I just wanted to spend, the time to make it good. But then I have a lot of things I have to work on in general.
I didn't
I
edit
had too much on my plate, dude. It's fucking a lot.
I didn't edit my first lecture at all, which was fine. But then I saw the intro, the One Piece lecture, and I was like, I like that. Maybe I would like to put
a little
something
intro
like that
never
on
hurts.
on the Sonichu one.
I really like. There's definitely something to be said for just starting the lecture when the people start out.
Yeah,
I
but like
always go a
your
little
little
over the top,
just like 5-second like musical intro just makes it feel like more substantial, and I don't think it takes anything away. So I like that. I want to do something like that.
That's cool.
Just a little something.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For the first May
Yes.
video, why are you the tripod? Is that your idea? Do you want to be the tripod the whole time?
No,
It was really distracting.
It was simply a matter of the fact that we thought, we could do it in front of this Henrietta wall scroll that we have, but directly in front of that is the couch. So I am on the couch holding the camera to film. But the thing is that from the description I was given of the video, I thought it was going to be like 8 minutes long. So I didn't realize I was going to be holding it for 45 minutes. So I had to kind of get comfortable. It was one of those things you start filming and then you realize, oh, I have to hold this camera in place. Like, oh, right,
Sure.
that's hard. I don't have any physical strength to do that with. So...
Same.
Yeah.
Well, the good news about these things is that, like, I don't know, like when I started Mia Math of a 1, for example, I like had not figured out my style, but like by the end of that, when I was done with that, I was like, oh, like I've made like 30 videos. I like this kind of placement for the camera. I'm just going to do this. And then all of Weagawas for like 2 years happened, and I was reasonably happy with it. So you figure out a lot of shit real quick about like how you want to make your videos and what you're into. So you burn through that stuff all quickly. So I don't know. If you realize you need a tripod after one episode.
That's probably the best thing about doing a video every day. I mean, like when I did it in August back in 2018, it was very much like every video was completely different style, just because it was like the question was always what can be done within this time of day. Like, all right, I've got an idea for a video. Like what level of editing can I do on this concept in fucking 5 hours, and you get really inventive. And then you go, actually, that was fine. Like that little 30 minutes of editing I did there, that video was entertaining and I had no problems with it. So let's do all of them that way forever now,
Yep.
That's the goal. Goals.
It's a very educational experience. You should try it if you're thinking about it.
So I've been just working on books. I've been writing novels. I've been making songs. I've been fucking smoking more weed than anybody's ever smoked since Snoop Dogg.
Ooh.
And
so cool.
And, no, it's not cool. It's not cool at all.
Good.
But but it helps. So I've just been sitting around thinking about shit and making stuff, and it's been sick. I have nothing to talk about. I thought I did at some point. It's not there. Tom, please.
Tom, save us. Tom, you're a crazy, you're a wacky guy. Tell us some shenanigans.
The only shenanigans that have been happening to me the last couple of days is that I've been hit with some sort of technology curse, and everything has been destroyed. So I'm recording right now with my old microphone because my audio interface is just not... Well, it works. But the problem is that for, like, a long time, when I got my old computer, it would constantly, like, crash. And I was saying, like, oh, one of the things connected to it is crashing your computer. I'm like, well, that's dumb. So I finally built my new computer. I was excited to never have that problem again. But it's still happening. So I guess my audio interface is just broken. And then my friend let me borrow one of his computers yesterday because he's like, I got a new one. I don't need this anymore. And I was going to use it as a render slave. And I touched it and it died. I don't know what happened. I just cleaned it out because it was covered in fucking dust. I've been sitting in a closet forever. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to clean it. I'm going to make it look good. I'm going to like be a good, responsible person and make this computer not choke on itself. And I turned it on and there was no video. And I was like, okay, that's dumb. Then it just didn't turn on at all. So I guess all the components died. And I thought the power supply died. So I'm like, I guess I got to buy a new power supply for him because I broke it. But then I figured out it wasn't the power supply. It was the motherboard and the graphics card that both died at the same time. Good. And I was like, well, that's stupid. Then the graphics card just started working again for no apparent reason. So I don't know. I'm in a cursed zone right now. And it's all bad. It's all gay. I don't like it. I have like my old mic taped onto a arm so it can still be not crappy. It's all dumb. It's all bad.
Well, shit, man.
Yeah.
Where's the happy ending to this tale?
I don't know. To be concluded.
So much for my happy ending.
Digi, I was wondering, because a couple days ago you tweeted out about artists and their inspirations, I guess, and like saying, this art reminds me of that. And then I responded to that tweet saying, like, this is like the problem whenever someone comments, like, oh, your art reminds me of whatever. And they get pissed off. That shit drives me crazy. It's so dumb.
Well, it drives you crazy that you think that, or that
no, it drives me crazy that people, when some normie comes into your arts mentions, like, oh, this looks great. It reminds me of some popular thing, and they get offended.
Naruto.
Yeah, it's just like that's not meant as a derogatory statement 99% of the time. But like artists get on their fucking high horse and are just like, oh, this is the wrong thing to say. You know, they have their dumb little like graphics because they can draw and shit. And they're like, don't say this, say this. And it's just like, shut up. You're not the boss of people.
I think the problem with the culture around artists is that with it being such a like, you know, art kind of an inherently like emotional thing to do, you know?
Sure.
And these people, they want to feel like, you know, protected in their ability to express these things that they have these intense emotional attachments to. So it's like anything you say, it's like, you know, oh, are you going to say something negative about my baby, you know? But it's like, you really need to be understanding about the intentions of the people talking to you. Like,
Right.
It's one thing to be like, oh, this is an insult, like inherently. It's like, well, it's not. It's not inherently an insult to compare your art to somebody else. It's usually complimentary. Like, if that is upsetting to you, you can tell the person, but like, you know, it should be you should be understanding of the fact that that person would not assume that you were going to have a problem with that. Like, why would they think that was an insult, you know?
Right.
I
mean,
Like when I tell Ben,
if anything, I'm excited
The champion
to,
is like Naruto, but gay. You know, hopefully he takes that in the positive way.
Sure. It's just funny that you tweeted that because I for a completely different purpose, I was like made this meme for my friend because we were talking about this very topic, and I didn't post it because I assumed Art Twitter would get mad at me. But that's my thoughts on the matter. Link in the show notes.
I mean, I agree. I think the reason I was able to make the tweet funny was that I made it like sympathetic to both parties, you know?
The fuck is that limb in the foreground?
That's what I was wondering. It's a very ominous limb.
It's very scary, right? But that's like the image macro for the
what
meme.
The fuck?
Isn't that
I didn't
weird
even
as
notice
shit?
that at first. It just looks like part of the furniture.
It does.
I think it's. Is it an
I don't-
arm?
Is it an
it's
arm
gotta
or a
be.
leg?
Right.
It's part
I
of
want
like
you
a
to
Lisa
imagine that
monster.
it's leaning up against that desk, like that it is that size.
Oh, it's that big.
Yeah, I thought that it was leaning on the desk.
We just don't know.
That's fucked up.
Just
Slender
off screen's
Man's
a
arm.
giant, gross head.
Sick.
I think it's a guy in the foreground who's doing like a weird
arm
like,
angle
T-pose
thing
with a bent elbow.
We're gonna have to.
Like his head would be right off.
We're gonna have to
screen
track
to
down the
right.
guy
screen.
sitting there and get an explanation. Be like, all right,
Yeah,
what
he
was
can
going
tell
on
us.
in the frame over there at this exact moment? But I don't know.
I mean, obviously, when somebody looks at your art and is like, and like doesn't engage with it the way you want them to, and is like, oh, I have a more popular thing in my brain that this reminds me of, which is like distracting me from just appreciating this the way you would ideally want me to. Of course, that doesn't feel like ideally good, but you know, it's you gotta control how you react to these things to a degree, I suppose.
Yeah, speaking of that, then, Lord of Ghosts Chapter 4 was, I think, not quite out by the... Maybe it was out last time, PCP, but now it's definitely out.
Yeah,
you guys have seen it. What does my comic, what does
read
my art remind you of? Because nobody's actually made
Lord of
comparisons.
Ghost comic is fucking cool.
I was gonna say Homestuck a
That's
little
it.
bit, but not
That's all I
really.
got.
I mean, what does
Veil
it
Shape
remind me of?
feels like
Reading it
Homestuck.
because it's cool.
Thank you.
I can't think of
thank
anything
you.
offhand.
You're welcome.
Oh, there's a comic I really like called Stone Toss. That there's a lot of overlap here between the themes.
Yeah. Really gets my noodle going.
What of the 13%? Yes, I must consider this.
That 2% though.
I don't know. I think there was in like some of the thing was maybe it's a reference like riddle me this. Oh no, okay, I'm sorry. It was a racial slur. Something me this, Batman. What is 13 but also 51 or something. Very based.
I can fill in the
Indeed.
blanks.
Disavow.
And thusly be amused and laugh.
Indeed. I love all of God's creatures. Anyway, this guy needs to work on his posture is the main thing I'm seeing going on in this picture. Both him and Arm Man. Gotta shrink that down. Not enjoying this.
They look like they're in school.
What
They
if he
have
just
time
has
to
a
grow.
big arm?
What are you talking about?
Oh, it must be the legendary Coomer. This is his gigantic arm
my
from all that
God,
cooming he's been doing.
We found
There he
it.
is. His bones also
his arm did not
engorged.
get any bulkier, just longer.
Just longer and wider. Yeah, proportionally larger.
You know.
Great. As his dick also grew proportionally, which happens when you coom excessively, as I understand it.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Well,
But did you have an actual answer for that? What my art style reminds you of, or at least the Lord of Ghosts?
Oh, like
Oh,
what
your art
style it
style,
reminds me
Hippo?
of?
Yeah.
I mean, yours is very distinct. Like, your art only reminds me of your own art for the most part. Like, there's obvious elements of Homestuck, especially in like Bale Jape and the stuff that's, you know, done in that style. But like when I think of Lord of Ghosts, yeah, and it's just like very hypocrite style, you know.
Yeah, not much else comes to mind. I mean, okay, honestly, like a little bit of like the rounded characters, like in Stone Toss, like there's a little bit of an overlap in just like the, I don't know, characters.
I could sort of see it a little.
I would assume
kinda.
that like where your illustrating influences come from are probably things I am less familiar with, as they are probably more like British. I would assume, but
well, no. I mean, I'm mostly going off of like Scott Pilgrim and One Piece.
okay, I can definitely see Scott
specifically
Pilgrim.
the hands and capes and stuff.
Yeah.
The boots. I'm thinking
Yeah.
like One Piece sort of stuff.
I'll
Your
read
style
And then
over
the
it.
faces,
so-
the faces is just sort of.
Your style is
know.
just so abstract, you know. Like you tend to. I'd imagine everything with you has like a wobbliness, like a bloobliness, you know, that like makes it very distinct. And like that's what I tend to focus on, is that the wobbliness of the aesthetic.
When I think of the Lord of Ghosts comic, like the image that comes to mind is like my favorite or most iconic panel is the one of like, I think it's from chapter 1 where the Lord of Ghosts is like screaming with both his mouths and his eyes are like bulging out of his face a little bit, and he's like reacting to whatever it was. And I'm trying to think of something that looks like that, but
I just keep like when I try to
dice.
like imagine the Lord of Ghosts comic in my head, I just keep picturing all the like epic sewer shots of just like the gigantic backgrounds in the sewers. That shit was ill.
Control Alt Delete seems like a major inspiration for the art style.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, I'm looking through it right now, and you know, the closest thing that it reminds me of, I guess, is like some of the like not all of them, but some of those like mid 2000s like Newgrounds Flash animations, just because for those projects they had to use like really simplistic forms, just because that was kind of like what Flash was about, and they were animating it. I feel like you're really like, capturing that kind of like simplistic form where like it's very much everything's defined by its silhouette more than anything else, and like it doesn't have too much detail but enough to separate everything from each other and give everything a distinct look. Like I could easily see this animating in that shaky kind of old school Flash kind of style.
Ooh, like there's a fish
See,
at my
you,
door.
you
looks
can
like
see
wobbly.
like Hippo
like-
and Binding of Isaac or something maybe.
It's like my favorite Newgrounds. It's like my favorite Newgrounds anime series. CCC City.
CCC City.
The greatest work of art ever committed to the internet.
This looks epic.
Have I gushed about CCC City
No,
before?
I don't think so.
I see a guy with dark
I
circles
must
under his
have.
eyes, so I'm sold.
This it's only like a dozen Flash animations by this guy called Vinny, and I guess there was a webcomic, but I never read it. It's just like this, like it's that like early Newgrounds kind of like crappy anime like style, like pseudo anime American take on it, but like they're actually great and they're really good and they're really cool, and I want them to be real life.
Maybe we'll get the Netflix live action adaptation one of these days.
There's one of these is like the whole video is like slow motion in reverse of like a guy falling out of like an airplane, and it's just you watch him like rise up from the ground and like shit, like this battle is going on around him, but it's you see the whole thing in slow motion reverse, and it's sick.
The what do you call it? Not the cinematography, the fucking directing. I can tell is really good. Like they're blocking things out, and they've got like depth of field transitions, which is really difficult to do in Flash. They had big ideas. I can immediately see they have a lot of like ideas.
Yeah, it's a lot of solid.
They do.
defensive animation and stuff.
The whole thing, it's like, I guess CCC City is just this big like giant like fucking, it's like the city in what's that game, Spaceport Janitor?
Yeah.
It's like Spaceport Janitor, but like it's huge and it covers like a whole planet. And it's like everyone is like a weird anime character with like all this weird like bullshit like armor on their fucking sticking out of their heads and stuff. And it's what a fucking treat.
Is that all in Spanish?
My favorite
Looks like
fucking
it is.
thing in the world.
Well, it's
Watch
epic.
these
I'm
Flash videos.
Flash was cool.
I'm watching it right now,
And then you'll
the
understand me
drawing's not
better.
super complicated, but yeah, the composition, the shot composition and stuff, the way he's like framing all the cuts is really good.
Mm-hmm. I'm watching the start of Gravitaxis right now.
Remember Rebecca
moving
and
parts.
Stamper? That's still the greatest video ever made on Newgrounds. Short and sweet, baby. That's all you need. That's
Wait,
all
what?
you need.
Which one?
Rebecca, where oh god, what are the names? Jerry and Rebecca and the kid. I don't fucking remember their names, but it's legendary.
Oh yeah, Jerry, Rebecca, and the kid.
Wait,
Yeah.
you're thinking of Hot Diggity Demon. He did Jerry. If
That's
what
not
you're
true.
thinking about.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Jerry, like he's a depressed guy and he has a terrible life.
Oh, Jerry, right. Well, fuck that. I'm talking about Rebecca, the legendary animation by Stamper. Whatever, it'll be in the description. People will know what it is. Everyone loves it, especially me. Yes, correct. Well, boys, I feel we're out of steam here, and we do have a bunch of voicemails if you want.
How long have we been going?
I
This is
forgot.
45,
I
like
forgot to
50
say.
minutes.
I forgot to say about the Kickstarter. The RFCK
Yeah.
Kickstarter. It ends at 9 p.m. That's when we'll
Okay.
9 p.m. EST. So we'll be streaming for like a bunch of hours, maybe 4 hours or 6 hours before that. That's when the ball fucking drops at Twitch.tv/Rowdy Frickers Cop Killers. I got news. I got my Trump bucks today.
Oh, good.
Yay!
That's
nice.
I got my $1,200 for being a good American.
I have not yet.
Thank
but
you,
Hopefully one
Donald.
of these days.
Did
Did you?
His
I was
name
just
was on
curious,
the
did you get it
check,
in the mail,
so I
like
knew.
as a physical letter or something?
Huh? What?
Did you get it in the mail as a physical thing, or was it transferred or something?
They are supposed to direct deposit it if they have your information. I don't know why they didn't do that, but yeah, I went to the IRS site and they asked for my information, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna mail you a letter," and they did.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay, yesterday I was getting my tire. I had a flat tire, so I called AAA to help me out with it. And the guy said that he was going to give me, like, the guy who happened to be changing it, we were talking about whatever. And he was like, yeah, hey, have you gotten your thing yet? I was like, nope, not yet. He's like, yeah, there's a website that my mom found that you can go to that they will tell you, like, if you're ready or, like, if you're eligible.
It's just the IRS website.
Okay, I got to fucking
Just the, like,
do
the
that.
IRS homepage. There's a button on it that's like, get my payment, and they will
Well, shit.
ask you
Okay, I'm going
for
to do
your
that
info.
then.
Yep. I got my payment yesterday as well, so we probably got them around the same time.
All right,
Beautiful.
not bad. Thank you, Drumpf. You're back at it again.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else to say, I want to shout out Vic and Hope. 'Cause
Sure.
They're doing like real serious stuff. I've been watching the videos they've been putting on the channel, and they've launched a Patreon. Victor is trying to do like real YouTube show stuff, and he's just put out a podcast Let's Play where they're talking about Victor's been talking about like gaming the system and doing all this SEO shit, and his approach to YouTube is very like tactical. I think that's really cool, and I hope he succeeds.
Yeah,
because
he's had for a while now. He's been the guy that we've thought about, like Kantan was partially inspired by like Victor saying like, guys, I watch these other YouTubers I don't even like because they do the thing about the shows I want to hear about. Please do that. So it sounds like he's doing it now, which is good.
Well, that's what I've been telling him to do for fucking 7 years, God damn it. Like, he's just literally doing what I was like badgering him all the time, like, hey Vic, it's really fun to listen to you just describe shows. You should do it as a YouTube video series. Like, there's actually a video on the M.O.W.O Soul production channel. It's probably unlisted right now because the audio is like almost, it's so quiet you can't hear it. But it's Victor in a wig, in that girl wig that he wears some of the time, just describing the first episode of Aquarion Evolve for like 10 minutes. And it's just like, because he used to do this, like he used to just watch movies and then just describe them to me in the funniest way. And I would be like, you have to do, this is like a gift. You need to do this all the time. You need to do this on the internet. And then there was a Double Shot the Drinky Pony where he did it with My Little Pony episodes, but he did like 2. I think he did 1 that actually got posted, and then I don't even know if he finished the second one. I don't remember if it ever came out. I think it did. But yeah, that never happened, and he just kept being like, he was just so down on YouTube as like a thing, as a career, as like, it's gay. I don't want to be some YouTuber. It's like
He's
second,
right, though.
Second, he found himself on lockdown and was like, oh, this is actually the most reliable career right now. All of a sudden, bam, YouTube time. And you know what? He's right. It was probably for the best to not do it, to develop other useful skills. Let me solve everything and tell him how to do it, and now he can just come in and fucking sweep the sweet rewards the sweet nectar of my knowledge and that I brought to the world. So
Makes sense.
Good luck.
Makes sense.
Sick.
I mean, Victor's camera alone makes him epic and good and very, very nice.
Well, I mean,
So
if
I'm
Victor
glad to
does
see
become a full-time YouTuber, then like we got him. You know,
that. I mean, that's true.
Got him.
He's in our clutches.
I mean, because the schedule's so flexible. It's like gig based or whatever. I'm sure he can do camera work and then also be a YouTuber when he's not doing that. Probably seems like a pretty decent business model, especially because they both kind of lend to each other.
I don't know about like to be a really successful YouTuber, you need to be putting out content forever until you're dead, constantly.
Right.
I'm thinking of it more of as like a hobby that happens to make money. But I see your point.
Yeah, you can. I guess you can be like pretty big as long as the videos you make are like really substantial. Like if you're making impressions on current shows, it obviously needs to be very soon after the show's aired
That's
that you make
true.
that video.
That's true.
And also, it's not like high. No, it's not high art. It's not the greatest stuff. Like people aren't going to wait months for a first impression sort of thing.
Right. Yeah.
They'll wait months for a JonTron episode for some reason.
Well, that's led by the comedy, and
What
it'll be
choice do
about
they
things that
have?
aren't timely. So you can get that pretty much anytime. Yeah.
I feel if you're like one of those legacy YouTubers, the rules don't necessarily apply to you as much. You know,
That's true.
Your name precedes you.
It's you know what? I think it's the comfort of just seeing a familiar face. Like I think in a lot of people's minds, like if you never had a moment of disillusionment with JonTron, then your impression is just like, oh, JonTron, he's a funny guy. Ergo, it's funny to see JonTron saying things.
Is.
And
I
it's
mean,
just
what's
True,
a game?
The lizard brain. It's so powerful.
Oh, you know,
extremely
here's a good
powerful.
example. If Matthew Matosis released just like his Bloodborne review, I would be on that shit. I don't care how outdated it is or how many lore videos. I want to know what Matthew Matosis thinks about Bloodborne.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
because
That would be a good video.
Matthew Matosis has never let us down. You know, like
Yeah,
that's
that's
why
true.
you feel
That's
that
true.
way. It's like JonTron.
I've really been
it's like,
enjoying his smaller videos he's been making.
Oh yeah, you know, I caught up on like all his videos except for a couple of the Zachtronics. Those are the ones I'm watching now, and I'm just like, yes, I've forgotten. I don't know, like I got a little bit out of it when he was doing all the Zachtronic, but now I'm like caught up on almost everything. I'm like, mwah. This is the good shit. I love these little videos. I just want to hear him talk about a game. That Kiro Blaster video, I was like, yes, I love this. I want to hear more things like this. I'm still going to watch that Beautiful Joe one because that is not interesting to me. I am bored by that video.
Yeah.
Oh, you
But
know,
everything
like,
else.
why?
Victor,
like
Vic and Hope.
Beautiful Joe.
I don't even know why.
Are you telling
I just,
me that you have to have played the game that he's talking about to listen to the video?
No, not at all. Beautiful
What's wrong with
Joe.
Beautiful Joe then?
I don't know.
Huh?
Something about it was just.
Explain yourself.
I don't know. Maybe it's weird. Like I loved his commentary on Devil May. Maybe it really is that I haven't played it and just am not interested in that particular game because I loved his ones about. I mean, the Dark Souls ones. I loved his,
I think
his deep dives into those.
think your impression would be very different if you had played it simply because the gameplay that he shows in the videos is the highest conceivable level gameplay of that game.
Yeah.
And that game is almost impossible. Like it is that is one of the hardest video games I ever played. When I was a kid, like even just getting through the first couple screens was hard. Like understanding the controls. Like I think you would not have trouble with it obviously as you
You know what?
played
I
plenty
think
of
that's
games
exactly
like
it.
but,
I think I need to play it in order to appreciate that video.
yeah.
It's definitely worth playing. It's fun.
Yeah, okay. It's his literal favorite game, except for Wonderful 101, right? Is that do I
I
have
think
this
Wonderful
correct?
101 is his absolute favorite, but he loves all them Kamiya games.
That game I did play, so I
As you
enjoyed
should.
his shilling of the remake or the Kickstarter for the remake or whatever.
If you play Devil May Cry, there's a couple DMC references in Beautiful Joe.
I clapped! I clapped when he did the reference. It's my
I did
favorite.
as
Yes!
a kid, and I still clap
Yes!
today because I don't care. I wear my fanboyism on my sleeve
I don't
unabashedly
blame
and
you.
unashamedly.
Well, you know what? It's different as opposed to like making a sequel to something. You know, this is funny. It's like with Final Fantasies, every game was distinct and not a sequel. And so when you got like to the next, like for example, in Final Fantasy VII, the fact that Holy and Meteor are like giant plot devices, which just like were black and white mage spells, like up to that point. And actually, Meteor was kind of a big plot point in Final Fantasy IV. It's like, oh, what a cool way to like capitalize on this meme in a way that like in no way like messes with like continuity or anything, because it's its own story. But like, wow, so cool that they would do that. And same with like the Clover Studio stuff, whatever, the old Capcom going into Platinum and stuff. Again, that's really cool to see those kind of references done in that way. But with like a sequel, I don't know, something about that has far less soul. Back to the soul discussion or whatever. It's more, I don't know, like Final Fantasy X, like of course it references the shit out of Final Fantasy, or X-2 I meant to say. Like that inherently is more boring, and I would be way less interested in any of these like connecting threads than in like I don't know, like a Final Fantasy
It
11
depends
or
on the
whatever.
sequel. Some sequels are good, obviously.
Of course. I don't know, just
Yeah,
a
but,
fun
like,
thing I like.
Well,
about
I mean, you
those kinds of
expect a
series.
sequel to reference the thing it's a sequel of.
Yeah. So I guess it just feels more
It'd be
like
weird if it didn't.
I guess it becomes like an obligation as opposed to like a fun bonus in that sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway, we weren't talking about that. We were talking about
that is all to say that like Matthew Matosis can get away with making a video whenever he wants,
Right.
Because his opinion, his take on video games is so powerful, for lack of a better term, because I don't know terms. So powerful that people will wait for that. And I don't know yet whether Vic and Hope can make videos like that. Victor is definitely incredibly entertaining to watch and listen to. I just love seeing him. But he would probably need to like make videos all the time in order to actually gain traction.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I just hope his main sort of series is that like just describe the plot of, or anime done quick. That's what he's calling it. Even though it took a really long time to describe the plot of Fate Zero or Fate Stay Night rather, but like
as quick
Anime
as can
done
be
quicker.
done. For the
I've
Fate
always
story.
enjoyed watching him do that, and like for me, it's legitimately made Fate watchable. Like I would not watch Unlimited Blade Works. It is fucking boring. Listening to Victor describe the plot was 1,000 times better than trying to sit through the fucking show. So
I enjoyed the visual novel. I don't need the anime. That was enough. You're not a visual novel guy though, so.
Particularly, I just think that the visual novel is written like shit. I actually have a video.
I wouldn't say it's good.
I was inspired to buy Victor's recap to write a video about Fate that I might do soon. That is just about like how I think it's basically just emotionally retarded. Like it's a story that's like just obsessed with having like as much shit in it as possible, but like the story is garbage. Like stuff just happens. Like,
have I mentioned?
It's just characters standing around and talking, and then showing up in scenes and fighting.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I know I probably said this before, but like, have I mentioned like how unique an experience reading the visual novel of Fate was? And I did like every route. I didn't get every ending, but you know, there's a lot of like little ones, whatever. And like the very particular experience I've never had before in a story, there was a little bit of it in Harry Potter, I guess, but it's like the vast amount of detail describing the unique specific agonies of a character engaged in battle, like, and then I felt my left tibia break, and that made me have to stagger forward. Like in an anime, you won't get any of that. You're gonna see like him take 50 hit points of damage basically, and then get up with a little blood and keep going. That was a very uncomfortable reading experience, but it was unique, and I always remembered that after finishing it. I don't know. I like even just the way that like I don't know. It's actually kind of fun to think about when if you're in a battle, like in a war, and you've got like a 50-pound sword and like a 20-pound shield or whatever, maybe less than that, whatever, and you are continually swinging at your opponents. You don't see this in video games. You don't see this in a lot of anime or whatever. Like you will get tired and your bones will start to hurt after your, I don't know, 5th swing. I've practiced like kendo a little bit. You just do like 100 swings and you get fucking tired with like a bamboo sword. So like when you're doing it one-handed on a fucking battlefield or whatever, you get fucking exhausted and shit. And the novel goes into detail on like how fucking tired Shiro is at any given moment. And I kind of love it. I kind of love that it goes into that stuff, even though it feels very strange, like for an anime. Very, very unexpected.
Yeah, it just seems like a lot of like what is good about Fate is the details. And so the visual novel is the best way to experience that because it's just uncompressed detail. Like it's just nothing but rambling about fucking information for 90 fucking hours, And like if you remove a bunch of that, then all you're left with is the story, and like that's what you get with the anime.
For
It's
some
like the
people,
story
that's
sucks.
enough. Though.
Who cares
For
about
some
the
people,
story?
they
you know?
still think it's good for some reason. They still think
because
it's good.
the animation is cool and flashy. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
all
you're right.
all that anybody cares about is that all this dialogue and all this boring shit. They just see it as all of that is the justification for why I get to watch this fight scene. You know,
Right.
like
Right.
and not have to think that the show is stupid. You know, not say, oh,
Yeah,
it's a turn your
yeah.
brain off show. Like, no, it's a thinky show. You have to pay attention
Ooh,
to follow the
that
plot.
reminds me of,
no, the plot's stupid. Don't think about it.
Here's a hot take I heard. This will be my one comment about the remake. It was that in the original FF7, you would like grind a little bit through battles to get to the story, which was enjoyable. It was the best part, kind of. In the new remake, you grind through the awful, agonizing cutscenes to get to the fun gameplay sometimes. And yep, hits the mark for me. There you go. Here's my angry rant. Oh, you know what's funny?
What
I watched.
were they thinking?
What were they thinking? It was very. I watched Angry Joe's review of it a little bit. Angry Joe loves the remake, but he never played the original. These perspectives are very interesting.
God,
to me.
what?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But
How do you, guy? Look,
yeah.
he can like the original, I guess, or he can like the remake, I
we
guess.
talk
But
about the
how
fact
do you?
that Angry Joe's
How do you
been
be a professional video game guy and you've never played fucking Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah, he's just a different kind of gamer. I don't know.
He started off as a
He's
Call of
just
Duty
differently
boy.
abled. Is all.
He is differently abled. Yeah. Were you saying something, Digi?
No. Should we go to voicemails now?
We can certainly do
literally-
that.
That's literally like a film reviewer who's never seen like Citizen Kane. It's like,
I mean,
like what?
You
Like,
don't
why?
have
You mean all
to
of
be a
them?
good reviewer of movies. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
you don't have to
you
have
probably
seen every
should.
classic, but you should at least understand.
It's not that I don't think
Yeah.
he can. It's not that I think you would need to have an informed opinion and be a decent critic. I just if you're gonna be that, why would you not play like the most fucking influential games of all fucking time?
I mean, you
Why
should
would
get
you do
around
it?
to it. That'd be good.
Because
Why
you get
would
into
you
it.
choose to be this way?
Is he a fan
I
of
think
JRPGs?
Angry Joe got
No,
in,
not really.
No.
Well, then there you
he's
go.
He's a first-person shooter
Yeah.
Stupid.
guy. I think.
Stupid
RPG
ass,
man.
dumbass, angry ass.
Douche
Okay,
guy.
enraged. What's the Spanish name?
Pablo.
But that begins with E, so it can rhyme though.
Jose.
Enraged Pablo's good.
It's my new gaming YouTube channel I'm starting right now.
Ranting Raul, that's a good one.
Furious Jose.
Screaming Simone, no, Screaming Simon,
Look,
whatever.
we solved it already. We
You
got
get
it.
it. All right.
These are all
Anyway,
great.
these are all good. I'm gonna make my channel today.
Anger
Yeah.
G. No, that's he already.
Angry
Angry
Joe.
Joe, we got it. Perfect.
Anger Joe.
say,
Not to be
like-
confused.
Anger Man.
Furious Jesus.
Sure.
Oh God.
I have been listening
Mm-hmm.
to music as I work. I have that Twitter the tweet that I pinned where I asked people to send me bands to listen to the entirety,
Oh, yeah.
the entire discography of. I've been going through those recently. I was listening to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard,
Oh hell yeah.
which I've
Oh,
heard
yeah.
of, but I've never really listened to. Pretty good. I recently recently finished Murder of the Universe, which is like whoa,
Cool.
which is like War of the Worlds, but like cool. Like
I love fucking Murder of the Universe. It's
Is
fun.
it
They
the
had
narrative
the
or is
fucking-
it the... Yeah.
there's a narrative, definitely.
Yeah.
There's like narration that goes throughout. Part 3 has this cyborg like synthesized voice.
Yumi. I am a cyborg. That's what he sounds.
Yeah, and all he wants to do is to vomit, and like
To
one
vomit
of the
and
last
die,
songs is
because he cannot vomit or die, and so he wants to do those things to
And
be
it's-
human.
the last song really stuck with me because it was like one of my big, I don't know what to call it, like fears, but like cool fears that I enjoy having. Where it's like exponential growth of he vomits so much that his like head explodes and then it is like his entire body is filled with vomit and then just it grows
got
and
his
grows
wish.
and takes over the entire universe and kills everything with vomit. It was disgusting
It's like
and amazing.
4 minutes of this guy describing the exponential growth of the vomit as it fills the universe for 4 minutes on end as the music gets just like rises and keeps getting more epic in the background. It's awesome.
Have you? I mean, this reminds me very much of that comic. Maybe I can find it. I Google it. Don't see it immediately. Where a guy's like puking. It's all stick figures, and then someone starts pissing and then shitting, and then every person on the planet catches this thing where they are vomiting green, pissing yellow, and shitting brown, and like it's a virus that captures the entire planet, and it zooms out, and you see there's just massive spirals everywhere of like a 3-point spiral of yellow, brown, and green as every person on the planet
Sounds pretty
is
similar to
exponentially
what
doing
the
it
end of
more.
the song is.
That's it. That's the comic. It just ends with that. Maybe I'll see if I can find it. Oh, I found it. Hang on. I got it right here.
It's got parts like vomit coffin,
Vomit
filthy
coffin.
breeze, rotting skull, vomit bomb. It's good shit, man. That album also has the 30-minute song about Altered Beast, about becoming the Altered Beast.
Whoa.
Oh,
This
sick.
comic
sick.
is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It is great. He's like spiraling upward as a projectile
This
that
is
just
like Hellstar
forces him
Ramina
up
by
stronger
Junji
and
Ito,
stronger.
like boiled down to one image.
This is good. Thank you, 4chan, for
Yeah.
making this. I appreciate that.
This is basically Homestuck.
This is basically what happens when you get the coronavirus. It goes sicko mode.
Good thing I'm staying indoors. I like hear splatters of bodily fluids on the window.
I can't stop looking at it. It's incredible.
This is a work
Just
of art,
seeing this
truly.
now.
You're right. I do need to
This is
give
the
up.
most succinct piece of apocalyptic fiction I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah,
while
this is basically
losing
the end
no
of Devilman.
impact.
This is what
No
happened.
impact is lost at all.
Every panel has purpose and meaning. Every image is so dense. There's so much going on in every panel.
They're pointing with their mouths open. What do they expect to happen?
They get hit with piss, and then vomit, and then shit, and then every man, woman, and child.
I know this is just funny, but like the line of action on these are really good. It really
Yeah.
sells
Yeah.
the comedy.
There's real talent here.
I mean, I don't know. One of my favorite thing in the third panel is he's
The shit
puking and
coming
then
out of his
switting
ass
intensely.
looks amazing
There's
in the third.
It isn't.
No,
There's
the
just
tiny
a
little
tiny
piece-
piss
Yeah,
stream.
there's one
The
little-
tiny piss stream as it starts, but then it too swirls into infinite power.
Look at the way his expression changes across the first 3 panels as well.
I think he realizes what's happening.
From just like to like oh no. Like,
And by the fourth one, he's moving so
Yeah.
fast that you can't even make him out. He's just a complete blur.
God, I legitimately love the effect of like the spiral that starts so tight but then widens out and then widens to the big like beautiful like end of Evangelion.
yeah.
Like, why did he
Imagery.
start spinning?
Because each
just
stream
sort of
is so
like-
strong. It's just forcing him to spin, I guess.
We need to
I
track
like
this
how-
artist down and interview him, get to the bottom of all
By
would
like
this.
the
love
sixth
to
panel,
know the
the P
man.
stream has become as big. It's like giant. He's
Yeah.
Oh my god!
spreading out, like,
the panel
some
where
sheer
all the people
volume.
are pointing up at the sky. Did you notice that there's a U-turn sign that just says "No you"?
Every panel's so dense.
It's a rich tapestry right here.
What caused this?
I
Why
I
did
don't
this
know.
happen to this man?
I don't know.
What began
What's
this
time-
cascade?
Coronavirus.
One time I made a thing.
He
I
caught
can't remember.
One guy
I made a
who
comic that
really
was like.
had to be.
I mean, this is a classic. I made a comic
Man, this
somewhere.
is making me hungry. I need some chocolate
Yeah.
ice cream.
This is like some fucking Bloodborne shit. I think this is what's gonna happen at the end of Bloodborne when the Celestials touch down, the Elder Gods have their way with us.
What is the long blue line in the
It's a river.
panel right?
Oh, that's
before
just a
they're all
river
pointing?
as we zoom out for larger and larger.
That's a
perspective.
river.
Yeah, yeah.
To show
We're
the
just getting a
scale.
larger scope of the world, I think.
Oh, we're looking from above down at the ground.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Oh,
I think
okay.
so.
It's clouds spiraling around.
I see. That makes sense.
What was it? I made a comic and I linked it on the PCP like years ago. Somebody in the comics link it. I'm sure somebody knows where it is. It was like the sun has sunglasses and like isn't impressed by your problems at the end of it or something. I don't know. That was like the theme I had. Somebody linked that. I don't know.
Wait, you made that?
Yeah, I made it. Like I wasn't inspired by this specifically, but like I just wanted to make like a shit posty, like apocalypse style comic, kind of like this. So sometimes you just hit with the spark, I guess, and then you make it real fast. Well, on that note, speaking of the apocalypse, this
Ben
is
has just been
grand and glorious.
slain.
I'll never get tired of this.
This is absolutely wonderful.
How did we even get here? I forget.
I
My
don't
new
know
hobby
or
is
care.
this comic.
This is you don't watch Devilman, don't watch End of Evangelion. You just need this. This really gets to the core of the matter, and it's great. All right, let's do our voicemails. We got voicemails.
Let's do it. If you have a lot, I just want to get it done. Get
There's
it
like
out of the
7
way.
or so, I think. This one is
boy.
very appropriate for what we've just seen. This is called good PCP content, of which I think we've just delivered.
Non-existent.
All right, well, let's hear it up. Take it away. Go.
I just want to say this is one of my favorite arcs of the PCP in a long time. Because every week, Ben will talk about Animal Crossing, and I'm like playing that game. And every week, Nate talks about Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I'm like playing that game as well. And I feel in the loop of everything. Like back in like November, when every week you guys were just talking about Pokemon, it sucked. Because I play Sword and Shield and it sucks, and it was just every week it was like, oh man,
Right.
Pokemon sucks. They cut all half of the Pokemon.
So glad I
Where's
didn't buy
Scissor?
Sword and Shield.
But now it's like, you love Final Fantasy VII, but also you hate it, and like the remake, and it's cool conversation, and Animal Crossing is just a giant pure force of good. Yeah.
That's correct.
There you go. All right.
That's
it.
I mean, sure.
Our instructions
thing
for
I
the
know.
future. Yeah, our instructions are do thing that guy knows, and it will be good content. Agreed. Understood. Message received. All right, next one is rad content rollout. Okay, here's an informational request. Take it away.
Yo, lads. I just wanted to ask you guys, what are the holdups for further rad content coming out at the moment? Nate kind of hinted
Munchy.
at this at stream,
all
on the stream,
munchy.
but it wasn't very clear. He said he couldn't release the Brad lecture because he was waiting on the diss track. But my question is, like, is that what's holding up everything else? Like, is everything else being worked on? Because, like, it's just a little confusing. Like, you guys pumped out those, you did really good. You pumped out those lectures super fast, But then now we've been, like, stalling, sitting on like these other 2 what is it 2 or 3 for like a month.
How long is this going?
I mean,
just want to know
you
what's
say
up with
stalling.
that, and like if the
It
diss
feels
track
like he's, like,
is
not
what's
talking to us
holding
directly.
everything back.
All right, we
the
get
way
the
it's
idea. We
recorded.
get the
Yeah, I
idea.
get it.
He says stalling, but it's like they're bigger projects. They take long.
I have-
Yeah.
I don't want to release the Sonichu lecture until I finish the Slime and Punishment finale, which I have been stalling on and just putting off doing to do it for other stuff. So that's the holdup on that. Lol.
That's the story of my fucking life. I mean, I've got so many projects I want to do, but I've got a first project I got to get done first. But
Well, just do it, idiot.
you're right.
I'm just very curious about like which content exactly he is waiting on because of the fact that like, well,
Yeah, that's what you said.
is it
There's the lectures, there's the Brad Carlinghouse
the
lecture.
arc,
diss track, and
Yeah.
then there's the OVA.
well, there's the diss track and the lecture, which are tied together. The OVA is obviously going to take some time, and the animation is a part of the OVA. The Dojin, admittedly, I don't know if we've even started like workshop.
I mean, we're kind of not worried about that right now because we've got
we
lots
should
of other stuff.
Hold off on the Dojin until the
Anime
OVA
stuff.
gets a little bit more.
Further
set in
along.
stone.
Further along.
I mean,
yeah.
we need the character designs to do the Dojin
Exactly.
anyway.
Which
so.
we're working on. Which we're working on. So we're making progress.
Yeah, the progress has been made on the animated OP for that, so be excited, I guess.
Indeed.
I guess.
and then
I mean, some of the lectures, whatever. Ben and Munchie, they got those.
We already
the Brad ones
talked
waiting.
about what's going on with Digi's lecture and Munchie's lecture.
Yeah.
Right. We do gotta make some progress on the diss track. We're being a little behind the curve on that one. We could move that one forward.
What about all of the content that you filmed?
Well,
only did one
Digit and I did make one content that is in production, and it will be released, but it's not quite ready. And I'm just I've just got other. Oh, at least one
we're
thing that
basically
is a high
waiting
priority.
till Nate is done working on what he's working on before we relaunch Canton.
Yeah, and
Because
then we'll
Canton-
get back to it.
The fact of the matter is, Canton got taken down, and so it was like, okay, well, we're not going to worry about this channel until it's back. And then by the time it was back, we had Radcon 4, and then also having to pick up our own careers after Radcon 4 while doing Radcon 4 editing, which is generally what Radcon does. That's why we wanted all that extra money to cushion us for the fact that,
Yep.
it puts us in that position. But
the good news, though, I mean, I'm very excited because content finally got to a point where like it's monetized and we're getting like enough viewership. Now we will actually be making probably some profit when we get back to making those videos.
I mean,
I can't fucking wait.
We had gotten monetization. The videos were very profitable. Like the second they started making money, because the CPM is really good.
But it was just like we made like there was like 1 or 2 months, and then the thing got stolen.
Exactly.
So we only had like a small window. Yeah.
But
once we're
we
back
only
there,
made like $100
I'm excited
or something like that. But
yeah. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Ton of potential, and of course, if Nate is still moving on down to Virginia Beach, then content can be. I mean, like basically for me, it's hard to like. The idea of the show is that it's going to be a show we do in person. So it's like
of course.
It's like almost to do like a relaunch without it being like, okay, we're relaunching so that we can get to the point where you're moving down. Then it's like doing it before that point is kind of pointless. Like the show is not supposed to be a podcast recorded online. It's supposed to be recorded in person. So like, once we are ready to make those kind of decisions, that'll probably be when content is like fully ready to come back, which should be before too long.
Yeah, basically, I've just been busy, and me and Digi need to work out some details, and we will do that.
We're
it's
both
just
extremely
been busy
because we both bite off more than we can chew and have too many different projects at the same time. And no matter what you drop, somebody will be pissed off. So you can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna not do this one thing I said I'd do to do this other thing I said I'd do.
That's true.
Everybody wants you to do all the things you said you were gonna do. So.
Yeah, never promise anything.
Never promise.
That's the only safe way to live.
So, wait. So how close are you, Digi, to getting all those rants done? You were still behind the last time I checked.
A lot left.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of rants I have to do where I already consumed the thing I have to rant. I just didn't record the rant because I wanted to do them all at once.
Sure.
There's plenty of them that I still have to like. Most of them stuff I have to read, which is a pain in the ass. It's a lot easier to just watch stuff because I could just get high and watch it and not have to fucking read.
Sure.
Thankfully, I'm changing the way all this works after I'm done with it. But there's a lot of catching up to do.
That's good.
But it's like,
well, okay.
There's all the projects I have on my plate are all big. They're all equally huge projects, and like it's the same position I found myself in once before. And in order to make it so that I don't disappear for 2 months to go do those big projects, I'm trying to figure out like what can I release that can come out that's not that hard to do that will be satisfying. So that's what the Otaku Gonzo Journal is about. And I already wrote 8 of those, so that's just fucking smooth sailing while I go work on this other shit. But yeah, I'm working on a lot of fucking big projects. So it's going to be, as usual with me, all of them will complete at the same time. And so it'll go from like 6 months of people saying Digibro's not doing anything, he's slowed down, to all of a sudden, wow, Digibro put out 6 books and fucking 20 movies and, he's active again. And it's like, no, I just finished everything I've been working on,
Oh, and you know what? I don't know. This seems like an interesting thing to mention just while we're on the subject. Like the other day you made a tweet that was a joke, but it was something in the spirit of like, like people are complaining about that I'm not classic Digi, something along those lines.
No, it was that people have been saying that I've been losing my mind for the last 3 years. Particularly this was addressed about my Reddit. Because when I created the Digibro Patreon Discord, all of my patrons went to the Discord and abandoned the Reddit. So the Reddit is only occupied by people who are watching my videos but are not patrons, and most of them have a problem with me. But it's weird because they've been in there for years saying the same stuff. Like, these are people who have been hanging out in my subreddit, and they're the only people there. Like, it's just a bunch of people who are, like, really sour and bitter about, like, the changes I've made to my content. But, like, when they talk about it, the way that they perceive the content is really fascinating, And it just goes to show that they, in their mind, it's like I've changed because of the fact that I'm doing these things before, or doing these things now that they didn't know I was doing before. It's like, this is the stuff that I used to post on Modal Soul Productions, or used to post on After Dark, or used to post wherever, but now it's on the main channel. And like, I think for those people, or even, really I should say it started from when I started posting stuff on After Dark that wouldn't have been there before. Because even that was a more manicured channel up until 2017. when I decided to start putting stuff that would have been on personal channels there. So like from these people's perspective, it's like, oh, Digibro's losing his mind. His content keeps getting weirder. It keeps getting, and his view counts are dropping. And it's like, well, if you look at 2015, where I only put out 4 videos a month, and one of them got 100,000 views and the other 3 all got less than 10,000, and you compare that to now, where I put out 30 videos in a month and one of them gets 100,000 views and the rest have less than 10,000, which one do you think benefits me more and makes me more money? It's the second one, you know? Like, putting out more content has only benefited me. It's just that it changes the way that it looks. It changes it from looking like, oh, this is a guy who bats 100 every video he puts out, to like, this is a guy who puts out whatever he wants, and when he feels like he needs to, you know, make some money, he goes and makes some content that he thinks is going to make some money, you know? But like, that's a decision that I make. And like, you can turn that valve on and off, because I'm not always in a position where I need to be busting my ass and growing in order to survive, you know? Like, I can take my time and think about what I want to do and do something that's emotionally satisfying, because I have that extra leverage of, you know, of my career. But like, it's been a very difficult balancing act, and the whole time it's been dysfunctional. Like, it's never been perfect. I say a difficult balancing act because I've never been balanced, you know? I've been imbalanced, if you couldn't tell. We all seek that perfect balance. So, you know, still trying to find that balance, but finding that requires going through the process of exploring everything that you think might lead you to get closer to there, you know? And I do that in a public way because I have to put out content all the time. Like, a lot of this content might be stuff that, you know, if I didn't have to put out a video all the time, I would only release a video once a month when it was a fully considered, well thought out idea, you know? But like, and there are some people who succeed with stuff like that. So it's not that I couldn't do that. It's not my style, you know? It's just like, it's just funny to me that from my perspective, it's like, I haven't changed what I'm doing. I've just made it more clear what I was trying to do, you know, the whole time. It's like my intentions have become clearer, and therefore people who thought that they could relate to me because they thought I was somebody else are now upset because I'm not like them. You know, I'm not who they wanted me to be, you know? It's like,
to some degree, I think I understand the counter position. And I can articulate. So when you put out the tweet, I responded to you privately in a way that I thought would represent what I thought at the time. You weren't seeing the other side of the argument, and we had like a little bit of a long back and forth, where I tried to present it, where I said that like, basically, the way that you've articulated here is pretty accurate. It's that like, your main channel has not had a lot of like the kind of classic Digi content, which specifically I would think is basically like scripted content. And actually, the video you put out 2 days ago, The Fear of Continuing a Show, that right there, that hit, that like, this is the kind of classic Digi flavor.
Well, and that's,
I mean, it's not exactly like the old stuff, but
so to put it like in terms of like my chart again, like because this is how it's easiest for me to understand it. Is like, it was very difficult for me to create a style that represents what I am trying to do with my videos in a way where the audience will feel the same way about it that I want them to, you know? It's like, so many of my videos, the problems people have with them are lexical problems. It's like you said something wrong, you had wrong information, or you came at, like, you didn't watch the whole show, this or that. And it's like, how do I make these people understand that I'm not trying to be a critic? Like, how do I make them understand that this channel is not being about fair and balanced? It's not about being objective, because I don't believe in that. And it's like, I think the problem is that in my mind, because of the fact that I don't believe in objectivity, to me it's just obvious that like whatever data I'm presenting is not hard data, because in my mind there basically is no hard data. People don't think that way though. And so if you present your video in a way where it feels like it's data driven, it feels like it's meant to be informative, people are going to look at it as attempting to be an informative video. And I did not know how to make that feeling go away while still writing the same way I do, which is to use lots of information to make an emotional point, basically. And so that's what the Otagonzo tapes is about. It's like, this is each of these videos is using stuff I know about anime, but the point it's making is an emotional point. It's not, this show is good, this show is bad.
I think
here's how it made
understand.
me feel, you know?
I understand your point there, but I think that my analysis of the situation is much simpler, which is that you're a guy I like listening to, and I have for many years, and I find your takes interesting. Frankly speaking, just the fact that this was a scripted video that inherently gives you that kind of cadence, that alone makes a
I
big
understand
difference.
why that matters for you. You're completely spot on of what my intention was here, because the idea of Otagonzo tapes is 4-quadrant appeal.
Because I'm going through the same thing right now as well, so I certainly I think I have some insight.
The idea of it is just simply like I looked at it and I said, what is like how do you appeal to everybody on my neurotyping chart, right? Like if you want to people. Just because somebody is a more lexical thinker doesn't mean they want lexical content. They want if the content presents itself that way, they want it to be perfectly accurate. If it doesn't present themselves itself that way, they don't care. So like, how do I make the video appeal to those people? Because my audience comes to me because of the fact that I do have information, I do have insight, but like what I use that insight for is not to make objective statements, it's to help you deal with emotions. Like my channel is mostly emotionally driven. It's mostly about like trying to understand what emotions a show is trying to fill you with, or like what message it's trying to send, you know? So like by focusing on that and presenting it as like, okay, if this video is really like rough and rugged, if it looks like it was filmed in a bedroom on a VHS tape, like it looks like a home video, and it doesn't start off like the tone of it just feels so raw and personal and emotional, in spite of the fact that I'm mostly talking about data, you know, but the data is there to make the point. So it's like it appeals to people on both ends of the spectrum, both emotional and logical, and it doesn't have, nobody has to get hung up on anything. Nobody has to be like, oh, I don't get where he's going with this, or like, you know, nobody's going to miss the point because the point is so blindingly obvious in every aspect of the creation, you know? And so like that's what I've been looking for, is how do I make a video that's easy to make and also true to myself and also not confusing, you know? And I don't think it's a confusing video, I hope.
I found it pretty narratively coherent.
Yeah.
But I mean, in general, I mean, I think that we're on the same point here. If I could make one recommendation for your channel, your desire to I think there is a certain logic in the way things were split up before, where your more polished work would go on the main channel, because I don't think there's anything wrong with, in theory, someone having a specific channel with a specific purpose to attract a specific kind of audience. I don't find that inauthentic. I think that's a totally legitimate way. And then you have another channel where the stuff, that's fine. Taking the approach of just putting everything on one channel also makes sense. However, that just makes people sometimes feel that they're missing some elements because it can get overflooded.
It's
My
harder
only
to
prescription
grow.
would be more scripted content, because there's a thirst for that, I think. Just more, not all, not even most, but more would be satisfying for the audience, I think.
I mean, ideally for me, all of my content would be scripted. Like the reason that I guess the reason I'm positing this is like such a breakthrough is that you notice that was a scripted video with no editing. It was just one take. It was one shot, one camera take. It took no time to create because it relied on the idea. Basically, like when I think, Nate, you probably are somebody who, when you write a script, you already have in mind everything that is going to visually or audially appear, like in relationship to it.
That is how I kind of create them, yeah.
I am not like that. I write the script and I have like maybe 5 images in my head of like scenes from the show or the thing I'm talking about that are like where there's a sentence that I wrote this sentence because I had this scene in mind, but there's literally like 5 of them. So for me, everything in between those images is just filler. Like most of my videos comprise of just lazy filler where I just cut, 10-second clips together out of the first episode of a show to fill as much time as possible. It is not exciting to watch, but it fills time and it keeps your attention well enough for you to finish the video, but it's not memorable. Those videos are hard to rewatch or sit through again. I want my videos to be something that, in spite of the fact that it only took me 30 minutes to make, it was memorable, it made the point, all the visuals contributed to both the emotions and the logic of the video, that's the ideal. So that is. Once I had this, it was kind of funny that you sent me those messages, and I agree with your sentiment, but I was already I was already in that mindset. Like I already wrote 8 of these videos, I'm already ready to bring scripted content back. It's just like a question of how can I write a script and not have to spend 10 hours editing the fucking video, for
perfectly understandable. Yeah.
And still be exciting. So that's my
Well,
hope.
I mean, just some thoughts from an observer and a fan and a friend. And that's true. The same thing with like funebure and 404 Tales. I just hope to be useful, and I would happily welcome any pointers about me as I try to. I don't know. This all makes me think. There's all these things that other people think about their content that I feel like I am just blind to because of my particular perspective, and I want to avoid that. I feel like there's very obvious things. Like, I don't know, Ghost in the Shell, like fucking best anime ever stuff, just didn't come out for years. That strikes me as just a blind spot. Things I should have been doing all along, and then I just let details get in the way of why that has happened.
Well, it's just missing the forest for the trees, which is very easy to do if you're a detail-oriented thinker,
Very true. Very true.
But,
okay, well, that all said, hopefully people enjoyed hearing some of those thoughts.
Yeah.
We do have more voicemails, such as... Oh my god, I'm excited for this one. Okay, this one is called, Is EPAL Simp? Okay, listen to this, lads.
I found this strange website called epal.gg, and it's like you buy like a session with someone to play video games with you. And it's mostly girls, but there are dudes. And, like, is that simping? Is it? Because it's like it's one person, and you're not paying for, like, explicit, like, content, like, pornography or something. It's just you're playing a video game with them. They got, like,
But you pay them for
like
it?
Overwatch
I
or
see-
Animal
I see
Crossing.
front
And
page,
It's got a bunch of
bestseller.
games on there, and there's people, and they're like... And they even got like little voice clips to preview them. Like you're like,
What
hey,
the fuck?
Indeed.
I'm so
Absolutely
play a video
simping.
game with me.
100% simping.
Let's
And they pay money
we get
to
the
do
idea.
this.
Disconnect. Now, okay, is it simping? I mean, sort of. Is it because it's sad? You should just
Oh my
have friends
God,
that
some
you
of
can
these
hopefully
girls
do
are
this
cute, and
with.
they'll play a game with you for like $1.
That's right. Okay, but I found a true hero. I don't know if you guys have gone to the website
Is it
here that I
Asian
just linked.
Andy?
Asian
$25
Andy.
a
Asian
game.
Andy, $25 per game. He is a platinum in League of Legends, which, by the way, there's some Diamond and Challenger people. That's not even that impressive. All
They
things
have
considered.
tags like sweet voice, silly, friendly, no flame or toxicity, easy to get along
I
with,
think I just figured
No.
out.
nice with a little spice.
I think
Yeah.
I just figured out how to
Ooh,
define a
nice.
simp. You know what a simp is? A simp is somebody
Yeah.
who willingly puts himself in a relationship in which they do not have any control or cannot make any of
Wait
the
a minute.
rules.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
I'm thinking now,
yeah.
is this about, maybe this isn't necessarily about being a simp. Maybe it's about like raising your like win ratio because you play with someone who's really good. I mean, I think that might be part
That
of it.
actually, that actually is not a bad idea.
I mean, if you're playing with a guy who's Challenger, you're gonna
Yeah,
do
like
better.
if you're
than,
playing with someone
than-
who's platinum or diamond, like your team's more likely to win.
I still think the optics are just terrible that you
Okay,
had to go to this
yeah,
website.
true.
But I can
It's-
understand.
But that's not simping though.
Dude, they got Roblox Mobile on here.
If that, oh fuck yeah, dude, you can play Roblox with Asian Andy in the gang. If that's your motivation, like I would argue that isn't. Simping is all about what's going on in your mind. That's really what it's about.
These
So
are
would that
really
be simping?
funny.
No. If you're doing it to have any contact with a girl, because I think that a key part of simping is that like, if you could get around it, you wouldn't do this. You're doing it because it's like your last option. It's your only way to. And no one should operate their life, and they're doing like the last case scenario if it can be avoided. But by the way, listen, I did a little digging, I did a little preparing here, because I want you guys to hear. All right, I prepared the voice clip of the legendary Asian Andy. I want you all at home to hear the dulcet tones of this man. This is how he sells you $25 per game with platinum Asian Andy in League of Legends. Here we go. This is his pitch. Go.
Yo, what up? I'm just gonna try my hardest. I don't know. Cool.
That's it.
Hey,
that's all he says.
Get him on the team.
Ooh, that
he,
is cool.
He was at the top. He was at the
He's
top
number
because he's like a
two.
bestseller.
He's number 2 on the
Okay.
charts.
People.
Okay,
This is
I
really
ask,
funny.
Do you?
I love it. I love him.
Is it only like one-time payments, or can you subscribe to somebody?
I'm not sure how the business model works.
I really think that, and this is why I'm trying to like find a way to kind of escape from Patreon to a degree. Not that I want to shut down my Patreon, but I want to make it for specifically the Otagonzo tapes as a show instead of being for me. And because I see a huge problem in selling yourself as a product. Because you put
by the way, Digi, I totally agree with you. Can we just observe this this rainbow dash next to Asian Andy in this main? Just absolutely beautiful, absolutely wonderful. Okay, he's a king brony.
It's like when you make a transaction with somebody, right? Like each of you has to like make the decision to make this transaction about this thing. Like you understand what the product is to whatever degree you've interrogated about it, and they want your money. You make the trade, it's done. You know, if there's hard feelings afterwards, take it to fucking court. You should have done your research, right? But on Patreon, it's like you pay me every month to do, I don't know, like
stuff.
It's very vague, and like different people will be disappointed by different things, and I'm kind of swayed by their influence. They're kind of swayed by, and it's such a weird relationship, and it's exactly what we all feared Patreon would be like when we got on it in the first place, I think.
Sure.
Which is why, like, I think you're still per video, aren't you? Or did you ever go monthly?
Sorry, that cut off. Could you say that again?
Are you still per video, or are you monthly?
No, I switched to monthly a while back.
Okay, because like per video is, we were all doing that because we were afraid of this exact thing of like, I want people to understand what the product is, and it's hard to do that with Patreon, and I think that simping in general tends to be the result of subscription, of like committing to a relationship with somebody who you do not have a relationship with. Oh, I'm going to pay you $10 every month because you're hot, and I'm going to watch your streams, but like you don't really know what you're getting. You're not. There's no real product. It's just like, I mean, there might be a guarantee of a certain number of streams or a certain number of photos you'll be provided with, but like, will they all be of equal quality? Will you get the same emotional there's so much up in the air, and it comes down to just this very strange relationship where like these people's feelings get really tied up in it, and like simping is extremely emotionally damaging, and it's just not a good thing. Stop doing
I totally sympathize with your point.
How does Asian Andy make so much money? $25 a game. He's served 301 people.
I think it's because he's like a known streamer.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, this guy must be known outside the site, right? He's got to be.
I would think so.
I think it says on his thing it was by like streamer or something.
Okay.
It's the only way it makes
sense.
So like they go to him because he'll help them win the game.
He's charging more than these other guys, though. I mean, Jesus, he's the most expensive one here.
He must have a reputation.
God, I love his pitch.
I'm looking at these other pages, and notable that League of Legends, probably this is like sprung around League of Legends, and this is why
that is the top billing. Yeah.
That's why Asian Andy's up there. It's like it's playing with good players is important.
Yeah.
All of these other ones, the bestseller category is entirely women.
Of course,
So we can play Animal Crossing.
See, it just shows you what's really going on,
They have Animal Crossing there.
Animal Crossing, great. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Hey, but by the way, though, to Digi's point, my about the Patreon thing, my ideal patron is like I don't know, maybe he's like a 25-year-old man, maybe, I don't know, 26, 27, with a job, and likes my content, but spends very little time worried about it, and then is just happy when a video comes out, but is not spending tons of time concerned or thinking about. And
you want
his
them
investment
all to be
is low.
hyper shads. You just want to imagine everyone who watches you is like the coolest person they could possibly.
My
That's
ideal
not even really what I'm trying to describe. What I'm trying to describe is someone who's not overly invested.
My ideal patron is you,
to support.
Listener.
Yeah.
You're it. Yes, you. You can do it.
Yeah. I mean,
my ideal patron is just somebody whose card clears at the end of the month. That's
just a warm body.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll take cold buddies. I don't give a shit.
I don't know. That almost sounds a little bit like I'm trying to wiggle out of responsibility, but
my favorite patrons are always the ones that give me like $20, and then their rant request is like, I don't know, I just give you money, so do rant about whatever you want. Sick shit, dude.
Sure, that's good. That's truly king shit.
Or even the ones who just don't request anything and just are like, I don't even care. I don't want any of this extra shit. I can barely watch your content.
There is no favorites in my Patreon. I love you all equally. You're so special to me. I love you so much.
I love you proportional to the amount of money that you have given me.
That as well.
This is not a This is not a.
I can't even promise that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
moving
if you're a
on.
dick about it, you can be a dick about it.
Yeah. There is such a thing as an annoying patron that
I don't think I have any of
we
those.
get
I
that.
don't think I have any of those at the moment. It's pretty sweet.
I don't have any either. All right. Well, anyway,
We all rush to clarify.
No, yeah, not you. No, you're fine. No, you're
not
good.
you, of course.
If you're thinking, I hope he's not
site.
talking about me, it's not you.
It's you. If you're having that thought,
If
it's
you're
definitely
thinking,
you.
oh shit, he's definitely talking about me, I don't know.
100%
There was
true.
nobody I was talking about, so it couldn't possibly be you.
Why would
I
you
do this
have
thing
that
a
thought
lot.
if it weren't you? It's you.
Right. I do this thing a lot where I speak in hypotheticals and it digs me into holes because I just sound like I'm, saying horrible things. But legitimately, none of there are people who hang around my community and aren't patrons and are annoying. Those people definitely exist. But as far as I know, no patrons are annoying.
You can make it so only people with roles can see your Discord. So therefore,
that's true. I don't even necessarily mean in Discord, like on streams or I don't know comments. I mean, those people exist, obviously, but And if you're thinking that's you, it's you. All right. Anyway, let's go to our next voicemail. Okay, we got
Patreon.com/giveandtake, giveandtake.site.
for a non-judgmental patron experience.
You will get the things that I promise in the Patreon.
Fair. All right, here we go. SoundCloud. What am I saying? Fucking the next voicemail. Oh, by the way, SpeakPipe link. Leave us voicemails description. There you go. This is Buster wa nan desu ka? Let's find out. Go.
また会おう PCP、It is I エロゲー侍
Yeah.
Today I want to teach you the English word buster.
Please.
Noun. One that breaks up or eliminates something. For example, crime busters. I hope now you can know the English very good. Okay, sayonara, PCP.
That is a good just dose of reality because we kind of were just speculating. What does buster mean? It has a definition. It kind of works. You got a GunBuster. It's got a gun. It busts the aliens.
Well,
Doesn't
wait.
bust
He
guns, though.
just said. He just said, yeah. You don't bust the guns, and
Okay,
you do bust the crime. So, what's going on?
It's not the same. God, the words can be.
Is there
outwardly
two
focused.
words with the exact same spelling and meaning the exact same thing, but they're two distinct words?
Impossible.
No.
Unthinkable.
Maybe.
Criminal.
Okay, well, beyond that, we have a follow-up, sort of. This is a little voicemail called Fuck Diebuster, Old Good, New Bad. Okay, take it away. Go.
Diebuster's a shit show, and you're all wrong. It could have been a great original show, but instead they decided to make it a shitty sequel. The key to the striking plot and themes in GunBuster is space and time, and how these properties affect the characters and their relationships. It keeps building upon this theme until the end of the show when Noriko and Kazuki are sure that they're going to have been forgotten 12,000 years later in the future, and it leads to that amazing fucking ending that nothing could top. All this shit, not in Diebuster. I have no idea where the characters are, what they were doing, and why they were doing it. Warp technology was somehow banned, I think, in the show, but the characters can still be wherever they want to be. It makes a bullshit science fiction terms where everything in GunBuster was relying on real-world physics, which was sick as shit.
There.
Also, Diebuster had more budget, but somehow looked worse than GunBuster. The last episode of GunBuster wasn't even finished or in color, and it was still more visually compelling than anything Diebuster had to offer.
Okay, it was.
Fuck.
Wait, hold on. Okay, we have to.
This guy, I hate this guy.
We have to address this thing.
I get that. I'm sorry. It didn't have the time dilation thing. I get it. It's really cool. I know you really liked it, but it doesn't make it a bad show because it didn't have the fucking time dilation shit.
We have to address this fucking thing that comes up where people try to talk about the last episode being in black and white, and that this was somehow a cost-cutting measure, which is the opposite of true.
That's not true.
It, in fact,
I
think costed more money because they had to shoot it a different way than normal.
I looked into this. Yeah, you're right.
And
you're right.
yeah, I mean, just even fucking think about it. They had to paint all the fucking grays. It's not like they just.
Yep.
Why would color be more expensive than gray? I don't understand the logic.
I thought it
here.
might have been.
It's all
I was
paint.
like, that
it all
doesn't make
costs
sense.
the fucking same.
It's at least the same, possibly more. So it was a stylistic choice on purpose. So that's out the window. Well, I mean, this guy, I don't know. Was his point that like he does like that about the about GunBuster?
Well, he was saying that GunBuster was not even finished, and it still looked better than DieBuster, which is
okay. Oh, well, it actually was.
And he was trying to say that DieBuster had like a way higher budget. It probably had a higher budget. But
I'm
like,
sure it had a higher budget.
Completely different.
In my opinion, DieBuster looks better.
I mean, DieBuster was like the most cutting edge looking show of its time. Like it was like one of the first like digital anime that looked amazing. Like
it looks so good to this day.
I get I get maybe you don't like the CG on the robots, and I'll give you it looks a little awkward sometimes, but I don't care.
I sense that this man just loves the theming and the styling of the original, which is more grounded in reality. Okay, I totally respect that you would prefer the narrative of the original and stuff, but he's just making shit up, like how the characters just move around too fast. As Ben said, remember how Noriko's like giant arc on episode 5, where she unlocks her fucking power
to get
to teleport?
She's
like a
gone
major
for a
plot
while
point
because she has to go to the edge of the solar system to get that, to supposedly get that Buster machine.
Okay, and whatever, man. You like a style more, that's fine.
That is fucking dumb.
This thing that like it's like a shitty sequel because it doesn't stick to the themes of the
original. Get the hell out of here.
It is a unique story. It's got different like you get like one more
voice
than the other.
Voice jail.
This man's going to voice jail.
Yeah,
it's just for a stupid ass take.
You don't talk shit about DieBuster around here.
His name was Fuck DieBuster. He's going straight to jail. There you go.
Anymore.
No, I don't think so. Fuck DieBuster.
Obliterated.
Fuck you.
I won't fucking have any of this.
And it's just the only other thing is it's just that like yes, it doesn't touch with the themes, but like the ending like honors the themes of the original, and in no way does it like fuck with the original in any way. It just adds good stuff in my humble opinion.
Okay, I mean, like, the sci-fi stuff is, like, messy. Maybe you think that, like, all the science in DieBuster is, like, it's all, like, weird, like, fantasy science stuff.
Oh, yeah, like, GunBuster's fucking, like, the actions this robot does in space with, like, what is that thing where it electrifies with those weird things on either side? Like, the sci-fi of what GunBuster did specifically was real to begin with.
I mean, it's
obviously not stupid.
GunBuster is clearly more harder. It's harder sci-fi. It's more grounded for sure. I don't know, it seems to me like that's the point. Like, it's the far future, and, like, the technology has advanced in all these crazy ways, but also they've locked off all these technologies. In some ways, the world of GunBuster is more advanced because they used warp technology. I don't think they
that's true.
Yeah. Did they like I don't think they ever do like light speed travel in DieBuster. Although
I don't think they do.
They must because like I mean,
well, No does when No figures it out.
How long did it? Yeah. But like before that, how long did it take her to get to Pluto?
It was like an episode where she was like shipped off or something.
It was like a couple weeks, I think. Right?
You know what? Because that would tell us if it was faster than light, if we knew how long that took.
Well, the distance to Pluto in light years is well, it's 3 billion miles. Okay, 3 billion miles in light years is it's
what?
0.0005.
Okay, that's not light speed then. She is not going light speed to get there.
So, I mean, she's going really fucking fast, but like a fraction of light speed, like a small maybe like a tenth of it or something. There might have been a little bit of dilation.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
How much is that? Is that one
gunlation?
Is that 1/2000th of a? No wait. If it
could be approaching
0.001, it would be. That's like 1/2000th of a light year. Okay, so nothing.
Where do the
nothing?
Oh, quick question. Where are the guys going in GunBuster when they travel and experience dilation? Like in the episode 3.
They go to like the center of the galaxy.
Okay, that's really far away. That's
in
really
GunBuster,
far.
In GunBuster, they travel like all throughout the galaxy. In DieBuster, they only go inside the solar system.
Yeah,
because the drones are they won't.
They're protecting the solar
system. They won't let them
I
leave
think.
the solar system, and warp technology has been locked away.
Well, there you go. We have just confirmed, basically, that DieBuster does not fuck with the sci-fi in those important ways.
Sorry, you wanted more time dilation. I get it. but
I get it. But it's just
go to jail.
It did everything it could do with time dilation in GunBuster. It pushed it to the limit, which is why it's good. You wouldn't even want a show to try to do more time dilation stuff. It did the best job ever. So let's do something different.
Imagine if Gurren Lagann 2 came out and they just said, we're going to be the size of 2 universes this time.
Yeah, I'd kill myself. I'd end it right then and there. Yes. So there you go. Oh, but we found like a new energy source that is even worse for the spiral nemesis.
The
Biral. The Biral,
yeah,
with the big B emoji at the front. The Biral energy. Oh, I hate that. Double. All right, anyway, now that he's in jail and we'll never hear from fuck Diebuster again, we can move on with our lives.
The menace has been stopped.
Oh, here we go. Okay, this is...
How many more do we got?
2 more. Only 2 more.
Okay.
And it is... Artso, Fuxos, Wuxo, Duxo has something to say. Let's give him a chance. Go.
I recently picked up drawing with the mindset to improve after several years of casually doodling. I've made progress since starting, and I recently changed my head shape to be more stylistic, and I quite like drawing that way. The issue is that I can only draw a half-decent body when it's done realistically, which completely clashes with the style I'm aiming for. Any advice on how to overcome this dilemma would be appreciated.
I don't understand. He can only draw. He can only draw bodies realistically.
But no, I think he said he had a problem with realistic bodies.
No, he can only draw the body realistically, but the head that he has developed is more like stylized, and so he's trying to figure out how to reconcile these two things. I mean,
you gotta just keep drawing.
You're just gonna have to practice.
Realistically. Yeah, it's just practice.
You're just gonna have to experiment with body shapes that you are good at drawing.
The reason you can only draw bodies realistically is because you don't fully understand anatomy yet. Once you understand anatomy, you can make changes to it.
Maybe if there is anybody whose art style is like similar to what you have done with the face, see what they've done for bodies and see if there's like an answer, that's been arrived at so far.
Oh, but then they're going to say, you remind me of Naruto with your body shape. And
just wear it proudly. Be like, yeah, this guy was like
instrumental
in developing my style.
It's like there's 7 billion fucking people out there. Most of us are fairly similar in most ways. Why would you even think you were going to make something unique enough to be noteworthy? To I mean, it's so frustrating to me because like the artists who are like, oh, don't compare me to other artists. It's like, bitch, have you spent any time looking at art? Like, there is no art I wouldn't compare to another piece of art. There is no fucking such thing as one that I'm not going to do that to.
It's a pretty immature mindset to be like, I don't want to be compared to anyone else. Like, like that's an insult.
If you want art tutorials and you're just starting out and you like people who are cool, this guy is very, very cool. Watch 5 seconds of this video and you'll understand that he's the only smart art tutorial person in the world.
That's a very nice Spider-Man. That's a good Peter Parker.
Oh, I've seen this guy once or twice.
The only 2 mistakes you're making.
Well, there's a GunBuster
it's just
game for PS2?
The way he delivers the information is the least boring and therefore the coolest and the best way to do art tutorials.
I don't like his goatee.
Actually listening.
I'll have to check it out.
I will not watch this man because he has a goatee.
But he has a butcher's knife. He puts his microphone on a knife and he speaks into it.
That's true. You're not wrong about that.
It's pretty killer.
It's American.
I just clicked on YouTube.
This guy's wearing American flag aviators. This guy's with me on Team Joe.
Dude, fucking... Oh, yeah, no doubt. I'm watching this fucking PS2 game... Go on. Yeah, say it.
Yeah, the point is that he's a professional artist and his advice is really good and he's also a really good YouTuber and I like him.
Sick.
So he's got
look
2
at that.
microphones. One clipped to a butcher's knife. And then one that's just a microphone.
I've seen this guy around, but
he does a lot of experimental stuff.
I don't know why I'm so mad.
Click play on this PS2 GunBuster game gameplay to watch intense Noriko sweeping action as she pushes a broom around the fucking sports field. I assume this is and then we see Coach appearing on the top left, presumably to give her anime hype speeches as she does this. This looks epic, and I love it. This was made for the PS2.
We gotta play this.
So this was made decades after the original. Fascinating.
This is delightful.
I kind of want to explore this. Okay, but anyway.
I wonder if
we've got one more voicemail
it's the
here.
game or the capture card that is just the frame rate is dog shit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess it's probably
he's emulating it, I think. So
probably capture.
Yeah.
Okay, one last voicemail, and this one is from, it's simply called Azumi is Based.
Oh. Yo, Tom.
Well,
I just wanted to say that Azumi is very based. I absolutely love Azumi.
Hell yeah.
It just looks so cool. I don't know if it's a girl or a dude, but like, Azumi's pretty cool either way, man. I wish I could play the game, but my computer doesn't have internet right now, so I can't really.
How did you
do
send
that.
this?
Maybe a mobile port would be cool, but that would probably take a lot of work. So,
what the fuck?
I don't know, man. Azumi's pretty cool. It's based.
Fuck this guy. Boys jail. Boys jail. Boys jail.
I appreciate it.
What's wrong with that? He got his point across just fine.
I am.
What is it me?
Just a suggestion for the man who wants to play on mobile.
Yeah.
Just Bluetooth gamepad. The demo has gamepad support. If you can hook up a gamepad Bluetooth to your phone, you can play it on your phone.
Oh, hey, what the fuck do you know? Cool. Wait, does it actually run on your phone then?
The game is on
just a web app.
It's a web app,
right?
yeah,
The game's
okay,
on
okay.
Newgrounds, right?
Yeah, it's on Newgrounds, it's on Itch,
yeah.
and it's on Game Jolt.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Any of those. There you go.
Okay.
Boom.
I was thinking, like, wait, was there another release that I didn't play yet?
I mean, I updated it a couple, like, before RadCon.
On Newgrounds?
Yeah, with like some branching combos and better hit stun and all that.
Can you
kind of
continually
cool stuff.
update your like that link on Newgrounds with the? Oh, cool. Okay, just wondering.
Is it me or were all these voicemails from the same guy?
I think this one and the good PCP content were from the same guy. I think all the others were from different people.
Sound a little like Paradox Crocs.
I don't like him one
maybe
bit.
it was him.
No, that's not Paradox Crocs.
What if you put one voicemail from a person in voice jail and the other one from the same guy in voice grail? Does he get split?
Then he's in voice
Is he like
limbo.
the Emperor from Final Fantasy II, who his good aspects are put into heaven and his bad ones went to hell and took over? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Settle that. All right, voicemails leave more for us at the SpeakPipe link down below. They tell us it's full, but they just keep adding more. Get fucked, SpeakPipe. I don't respect you because you have no boundaries. That's it. We've got patreon.com/theprocrastinators. There's a new bonus episode out. There's 37 of them. Goodness gracious, Koofcast is out. Join us as we koof.
Don't listen to the fucking Koofcasts.
Oh,
don't
do it.
Do it to yourself.
It's painful in more ways than one.
Was it just koofing nonstop or what?
I wish.
We've but there's 36 other bonus episodes.
Is it like a big political argument for 2 hours?
Yes.
We do
It's
have an
that,
intense
but worse.
argument about things, and it was a rough time, but we got through it and we remained best friends. So I feel grateful for that. You can experience that in real time.
Great.
Won't that be fun?
Or
the
you
Patreon?
Go on. Right now, if you listen to this when it dropped, right now, probably we are getting either doing or be getting close to the Kickstarter ending stream. Ends 9 p.m. today, this Friday, right now, right fucking now. Will we make $1 million fucking dollars? How many fucking pins will we make? We already made so many. Can we make even more? I think it's possible. Rowdy Frickers, Cop Killers, Twitch.tv. Get some.
How exciting. Get some. Go do it, lads. Follow us for updates and whatnot, more release and stuff on Twitter at TPCrastinators. That's the hub of information, blah, blah, blah. You'll see everything there. More Kickstarter stuff will be coming in time. We're working on it, so give us some time. We'll keep rolling out. You've heard your updates here today. And that's it. And more voicemails and SpeakPipe, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
All right, that's it, everybody.
You guys
We're done
ever
this
think
week.
about how you're just a brain jellyfish in like a bone mech with like meat armor?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But
Yeah,
you're,
I don't like it.
But it's like an Ava mech where you're like linked and you can feel all the pain that it feels.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I like that. I like thinking of being a mech skeleton.
I want to upgrade my mech to like actual.
Like I turn
Yeah,
my neck and I'm like, oh, dude, the spine is so fucking complex, dude.
What was that?
Oh my
What's that
God.
philosopher that's about like the homunculus that lives within like the brain and that
That's
like
like just
is-
what
I don't know
people
if that
used
was
to
like a-
think.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well,
For
then
some-
what gave
some
that
people
guy
did.
his ability to think? Another homunculus inside his brain, and on it goes.
Yeah, it's just jellyfish piloting jellyfish piloting jellyfish.
All the way down. I love it.
We have a word
Well-
for that, Nate. It's called the ghost in the shell.
I mean, that's true. Okay, but what gives the ghost its consciousness is my question.
The ghost and the ghost.
The shell.
The ghost.
We're all
of the
just
ghost.
meat. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna be in the grave soon, guys.
But life can still
It's coming.
be.
God,
It's
We
coming.
define our own meaning.
things will be so
What was
much
that?
easier, dude.
You can't make. Yeah, you make your own meaning, and then it doesn't. Oh, you're dead. Well, it doesn't matter. That's great. That's coming.
At least, I mean, if we made a meat, we may as well barbecue ourselves. Like that one
If
video.
we're made
that'll
of meat,
hurt,
you
though.
might as well have a barbecue. Now that's some sentiment I can get behind.
That sucks. That
Absolutely
sucks.
based. Have you guys seen? Oh, what was that one video? I think we talked about it, where
That's-
a guy climbs onto a barbecue. He asks his
we
friend
watched
to grill
it at
him.
RadCon.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I. That's what I was
right.
It's
talking
by
about.
the minute
Uh,
hour.
That's the one. I forgot the name.
We will link that. The minute hour barbecue. I'm gonna make sure that one's linked. All right, that's it for this week, everybody. Enjoy that. Have a good day, and we will see you next week with another PCP episode. See you then. Bye.
Later.